Yeah.
He's going to definitely be walking.
Yeah, Simon controls that board really well, doesn't he? Definitely. That last game showed that, playing against it awkward and still able to control it pretty well.
He's used to it, which, it's a skill. I think it's one of those things that, especially in this kind of matchup, Simon will win this game in the movement phase by just making it so as Christopher has nowhere to go. That being said, I mean, Christopher's just come off 2 wins. He got the biggest win results so far at Masters. Like, he's no slouch.
No.
And if he can catch them, if he can catch those Dark Elders, if he can pin them into a corner, so he'll stomp them. There's no telling.
Yeah. So Simon has got first turn. So they're jumping into the first turn. As far as secondaries are concerned, Simon has picked Recon, the Reaper, and Kingslayer, whereas Christopher has selected Butcher's Bill, Headhunter, and Recon.
Nice.
I think Recon's going to be an interesting one because I don't think he's going to get the Recon points with deep striking like he's probably used to. The just amount of board presence and speed Simon has to really lock him down. But we'll see. What do you think of the Down Under Network objectives?
I was just about to say, those are very nice looking objectives. Yeah,
so they're made from the mouse map material, the base slip. Models can go on it. It's got the G-Dub Realm of Battle. You know those, like the plastic hill?
Yep.
They're basically objectives just love to slide down and move around, and you end up having a blue tack. This stuff will hold on to dear life.
And they look like they're the appropriate size that if you're touching it, you're within 3 of the objective.
It's exactly what we went with. So they're 3 inch in radius. So they're a pretty good just all-round hobby utility, but even better when it comes to streaming an event. Because we don't have to... There's a few scenarios where it's still a little difficult. So let me just bring up my overlay here. So that objective, and that objective is really simple. But you can see those. But unfortunately, what they've had to put it under the terrain, and it's like, well, all right. I would guess that this venom here, for example, is probably touching that objective. But it's same scenario. But look, a lot better than some of the alternatives.
Definitely.
Yeah, we have to start taking some back some of these things we say about you Aussies. You are a little bit smarter than what we give you credit for sometimes, you know? Coming up with nice objectives like this, so...
I do what I can. Adam Camilleri been pushing me to get the co-host still in the Masters. He hasn't dropped yet. He said we need to get these. I don't know if the first time he saw them was at the EC last year, but I think the Team Belgium had them. I know the Panhammer stream has their own. So all right, we'll get these sorted. They're not the cheapest option. If you want to get 40mm objectives laser cut from acrylic relatively cheap, then sure, that's an option. These will end up. So we're selling these at $40 Australian a pop. And I've just got what I'm assuming is a little question, so bear with me 1 second. You can chat, lovely lads.
We can chat.
The funny thing about this, Bartosz, this is what I was talking about, where he's taking that board control nice and early. So you see how he's moved up those venoms on the bottom part of the screen there.
Can't see right now because I've just lost Twitch for some reason. I'm just
okay.
Go back in now.
For the people that are watching, he's moved up obviously some venoms in the bottom of the screen there. Wouldn't surprise me if we move some up into the top area as well. Obviously, we can't draw on the screen because we're not with Diffie, but and that's basically going to stop him from deep striking into any of those ruins with his Death Watch. It's going to give him that control of basically, what's that going to be, 2/3 of the board. So yeah, it's nice.
So now that my Twitch is caught up, so are they in deployment at the moment, are they?
First turn he's moving,
First
so
turn, right, so he's moving. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yep, it'll be. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got enough venoms there to block that whole top 2/3 of that table off.
yeah, he does.
So I
He's-
think the Death Watch, Christopher, isn't it? He's
Yeah.
he's going to have a job getting him behind them.
What I think will be really interesting is the fact that, just the amount of bolter shots that Deathwatch can pump out of Venom, because let's face it, Dark Outer are paper boats at the end of the day, and he needs to cause 6 wounds to one of them to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So it's not unfeasible for him to do that with a squad. Maybe not one squad, well, maybe if they get lucky. But my most hated thing with Venoms, what I hate fighting against the most is Storm Bolters. It's not las cannons. We've got 5+ invulnerable saves and all that, and I always seem to make those ones. But you chuck a couple of bolters at me, can't make 4-up save.
He's definitely in a better spot now with the beta bolter rules.
Definitely.
Yeah, pumping them out at
Definitely. I'm guessing you guys are using the beta rules for the bolters.
We are using the beta ITC tournament format, which basically says all beta rules are in play. We did put a date cut off on that because we had a pre-event list submission of, I think, 2 weeks. So basically the assignments, for example, have come out after the list submissions. So people aren't using those rules. But that's more of a timing thing rather than a beta or not beta scenario. Yeah. I just had an interesting rules question come up, and I've made the ruling, and I'll stick with it. But just interesting on your 2 cents. So there's a guy who's got the Forge World batteries, artillery, and they come with gunmen, but the gunmen aren't actually part of the unit. And to target the gunmen, they have to be the closest enemy, visible enemy units. So similar to a character, but they don't have the special rule. So can snipers still shoot them? And snipers specifically say that they can shoot characters even if they're not the closest enemy. So I had to rule in a direction that I thought was really weird and said, nope, snipers can't shoot the gunners.
Yeah, I'd agree with that because they don't have the character keyword.
Yeah, I mean it's stupid, but but I didn't write the rule. I'm just ruled.
Good old Ford wheel.
Yeah,
Strikes again.
They're so accurate with their rules. It's great.
Yeah.
Brought to you by the same company that bought you the Scorpion.
You got to stop getting your hate on for that one bottle.
I hate that model. Hey, I've killed it once though. That was enough. It sacrificed 1,650 points out of the 1,750 point army to do it, but I killed it.
Not the best sacrifice there, bro.
No.
Man, this list is so quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking at that. He's going to have 3 objectives already.
Yeah, he's on 3 objectives already. I've just got some players complaining that they are too hot. So how are it raining?
What's that? Sorry, mate.
It's raining in. Where are you in NZ?
I'm in Auckland, and Hayden is in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah, so I'm up in the beautiful place called the Bay of Islands. I say I'm in the Bay of Islands, but I'm not. I'm in a real shithole of an area called Okai, which is
it has the word hell in it. Right.
Yeah, and it's basically next door to the town with the 2nd highest crime rate in New Zealand. So it's awesome.
And that'd be busy.
Yeah, I'm in the growth industry. It's I'm definitely not going to be made unemployed anytime soon.
But no, yeah, it's been raining and it's been cold today, mate. We've just had non-stop water falling out of the sky. Crazy. We've had to put jumpers on.
Jeez, pretty here.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I'm wearing socks at the moment. It's that cold.
I'm looking forward to coming to Brisbane in May just so I can get a bit of warmth again because it's already getting cold and it's still our summer, so it's bullshit.
Technically, it's autumn. Yeah. Come on.
Technically.
Yeah. Right.
Are you having issues with them?
I think he's just having issues with players, mate. You know what?
Oh, interesting. Look, the first few minutes of the round. So far, round one, I had Matt Morrisoli, and also at the start of round two, I had Matt Morrisoli joining me in person. So running an event, the first 5 to 10 minutes is when you get most of the questions, and then after that, it's usually smooth sailing at this kind of level. And then sometimes right at the end, or sometimes in the middle, you get that. Oh, I need you to come over and tell me if this guy is blocking from combat, falling back, and I have to get out with I feel like I should be getting out with a magnifying glass, and yeah, it's serious business sometimes.
Right, War Dollies is serious business.
Yep. So tell us a bit about your podcast.
Our podcast. Oh, Hayden, you can answer this one, mate.
It's a bit of an abortion. Basically, our podcast is focusing on the New Zealand tournament scene quite a lot. We do a bit of stuff around hobby and stuff like that as well, and around painting in particular. But we're focusing on the tournament scene in particular. So between the three of us, we get to most of the tournaments in New Zealand. We miss a couple down south in Wellington and Christchurch and stuff like that. But we like to examine, I guess, what's happening in the New Zealand meta, which I don't actually think we have a meta, so to speak. Basically, because it costs way too much for people in New Zealand to go and chase that meta. We're on par with you in terms of the costs, but our salaries are about half of what you guys get. So,
but our beer costs more.
Yeah, your alcohol costs a lot more.
Which is funny too, because I think both countries have equally the same amount of problems with binge drinking.
Our response to binge drinking is to tax it so that only the rich binge.
Oh,
nice. Yeah, because apparently that's poor people. And this is the thing. What they do is they look at the most common beverages that people use for binge drinking, and so those generally are mixed spirits. So Jim Beam and Cokes, or CC and Dry, those sorts of UDLs. Depending on which side of the fence you sit. So they go, oh, you know what? We'll just tax them. Any pre-mixed drinks, we're going to tax you. However, if you just buy a, bourbon and a bottle of Coke, that's okay.
Yeah. Well, that'll be fine for me then, because I don't put Coke in my whiskey.
Fair.
Yes. It's such a bizarre concept, because obviously in Kiwi land we have huge issues with alcohol too, but no one's got the balls to tax it. You can go down to the local bottle shop and you can get a box of what we call Cody's, and they will mess you up. And it costs you like $20. You just chuck a 20 down, and you've got yourself a night out, and you will not remember it if you drink that whole box. $20, done.
I've had a few nights out in events, and I played the first event I played in New Zealand, I think was, I want to say Fields of Blood, like 2011 or 2012-ish. It would have been before you guys came over for the ATC, so like 2012-ish. Came over and got absolutely blind drunk. That was a good time.
Not wanting to derail your guys' drinking stories, I'm just looking at the game going on at the moment.
That's not really happening. No, I'm kidding.
No, I'm just looking now, and if I'm looking at it right, he's sort of handed a kill one straight away with that unit that's deployed out the front of that building. Is that a whole squad, or is there more squad behind that?
Tell me the direction. Bottom left or top left-hand corner? So around here?
Yeah.
So it looks like there's still a couple of models here. The other thing I'm not 100% certain on, some of them, like, I can roam around in a second. Looks like they're shaking the hand. Game over. No. There's a couple of markers, which are the teleport home. So, finish first turn, but fill in the score sheet. And yes, you got kill one and hold one.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I think he may have made a bit of an error there, putting that unit out the front of that building.
Possibly. There might just. I'm not sure what. Like, surely there's enough room in back and still plenty of space here. I'm not sure why he had to be out the front. I'm not sure what he gained.
Possibly to protect Celestine down there, maybe.
But Celestine could have been here instead. Like, yeah. I mean, it's not as if he's played very well, so he's just. I think this is very much. And he may have even just moved the full 24 inches in one go, because that's just being efficient. Yep. Have you guys seen what the trophies are for this weekend?
No.
I saw them earlier, man. I can see what you mean by trying to get them through customs.
So I'll show you the open event first. So this is part of the all right. And
now I've got a bit of a delay on the video, so I think I'm about 5 seconds behind you.
All right, it'll come up in a sec. And this is the other part, which will come through in a second. But yeah, it's a working firing.
Oh, nice.
Bolt gun. And so that's the open event. Now, wait 1 second. This one's a little hard. It's heavy. And that, my friend, is the ANZ40K Masters 2019 trophy.
Oh, that's lovely. A heavy bolting there. That's fucking brilliant. Oh, nice.
Mate,
nice.
I actually said to my wife, I don't want to give this away.
Yeah, no. Keep it. Go quickly tomorrow morning. Go out and buy a shitty tennis trophy, and just get a Vivid and write ANZ 40K Masters on it.
It says ANZ 40K Masters 2019. It doesn't say no. Underneath, right. I'll say best tournament organizer.
Yeah. Nice.
Do it, bro. And then you can run around and shoot your kid with it at home. So it'll be awesome.
As long as when we finally end up coming over to have a game with you guys, we get to play with it.
Oh, mate, come down to Melbourne. Or actually, it depends on who wins this thing. But yes, I'm putting a little bit of coin aside, so as if I have to ship it, I can.
Nice.
Yeah, come on around. We've got Simon coming around. This is the mic moment.
All right. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna try. He's left a whole bunch of stuff in reserve, like two big units, all the Seraphims, all that stuff. I'm gonna see if next 2 turns I can keep it bubbled out so we can't actually drop any kill half this army.
As in you're gonna bubble off the entire table.
I'm gonna try.
All right. That's you guys heard that?
Yep, we heard that. Now, just a quick question: has Simon got a beard?
It's a very good question. Let me just. It's ish. Yeah, I'd say there's a couple of days growth.
Tell them to keep going.
Tell them to keep going. That just gives me memories of. There was one game I played where I was running guard, and this is 5th edition in the old door. Half table, deploy 2 troops and 1 HQ. Remember that deployment?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So I deployed first. So I deployed a 50-man, and a company commander, like on the line. And my opponent had white scars. What scars? It was white scars. But he didn't outflank it. He just reserved it all. I just confirmed. I said, "Are you sure you want to, reserve that?" It's like, "Yep." I'm like,
no.
Okay. So turn 1, I ordered my guardsmen, both squads, to move. And then old school reserves, so nothing came out turn 1. Then in my turn 2, I ordered them to move, and I aligned the board edge.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
That is
Mate.
terrible.
You're a piece of work, mate. A piece of work.
What did you want me to do? Like, I mean, the guy, I warned him. I didn't specifically. Yeah, I don't know what you're.
I don't, very, very clever move, but horrible person, horrible human being.
If he had just one tank, he only needed one tank. He would have been okay because he could have tank on, and made a bit of a gap. But he didn't. He had nothing but bikes. I'm like, yeah, unlucky. Right. I had another mate. This is the Grey Knight list of 5th edition with the old warp that you can't deep strike within 12 inches of this unit. And he played against a demon player, and he had interceptors. And so turn 1, he did the teleport jump on all the interceptors, ran around, and the entire board was warp quake at the end of turn 1. And he said, "Good game." So turn 1, this was 5th edition. So turn 1, half the army died, and turn 2, he had to hope that the guy failed a warp quake, which he didn't. And then it was a really weird scenario. Big shout out to Simon's family who are watching this on their TV. I think in the living room. So Simon's wife, kids are watching this. And they've just said,
I'll watch my P's and Q's in.
I've warned Simon that this look, there is a mature on this channel.
Yeah.
Look, yeah, I mean, so far we haven't been too expletive, but it is what it is. So they said they want the trophy. Bring home the trophy. So I can just see it. He'll come, and his kids will take it, and just. He'll never see it again.
I can imagine Mum and Dad running around after in the house.
Mate, I had to
stop shooting your sister in the eye.
This was on the counter. So the big one does work, but the batteries are doing weird things for me. So I've got to get a screwdriver out. It takes 6 D cells. That thing's heavy.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even know D cells. No, anyway, whereas the other one has these little ones. So I had that on the bench, and of course, every man and their dog grabs it and just shoots it, and then I am then the dad running around picking up all the Nerf bullets.
Jeez. Well, I'm glad you pointed out that was his kids in the chat. I didn't realise that. I thought that was somebody else.
Well, funnily enough, Simon's nickname is Dad in the Queensland community. Actually, outside of that as well. He is pretty much known for organising a lot of the lads. So, like, when the Queensland team for ATC goes anywhere, pretty much Simon has to organise it, has to organise flights, organise accommodation. He has to be their dad. And Simon's lovely wife, Sonia, definitely better half, who's watching right now. I think on the Twitch chat for her login, I think it's ETC Australia Mum, like that.
Nice.
Yeah, because she went to the ETC with the Australian team last year.
Nice.
Now, this is sorry, just going back to the game for a second. This is where I think, a classic example of Bolter's just taken a part of. I think we're going to see that here.
Yep, there's enough guns to probably.
Yeah. I was saying before, Diffie, like, people can shoot las cannons at my bloody Venoms all day long, or even what are those bloody volcano lances on the Castellan? Go for it, shoot it.
Yeah.
You're not going to do anything, but you shoot me with your bloody Storm Bolter. Here we go. It's big trouble.
I think the question will be can he kill enough Venoms before he loses all his bodies? Because he's out in the open right now.
Yep.
And it looks like Celestine's going in for the charge. Obviously not going to get overwatched, so it's not going to bother her.
I don't think she'll be able to make that charge, and I'll tell you why.
How big is
no, she can go through the wall.
Yeah.
What do you reckon that is?
Looks to be about. I think he's going to need a 10. make it.
You know what? I'll roam. I'll have a
No,
look.
you're right.
You won't see my pretty face, but
Yeah.
you know what? I'll have a look. Jesus.
I reckon 10, Hayden. What do you think?
No, I reckon it's going to be a bit close. I'm going to go with 8. Yeah, 8-inch. I'm trying to look at the bases on the other side there and try and gauge that. But
Did you ask your wife how far 8 inches is? Because I know you have trouble with that.
Is it about 9 inches? Celestine? A 7-inch charge.
Whoa.
7.
Well, it means the distance is just probably B's dick under 8 inches.
Yeah.
My guess. So I guess that makes Hayden. Hayden was probably the closest there. Yeah.
Well, look, you know, I do.
Let's go back to the days before pre-measuring, boys, and I'll be back in my element.
Mate, the good old days, especially with like stuff.
Mate,
Like,
I had a guy I used to play against, and he had Elder Artillery, the decal, and he could measure, like he could guess 32.5 inches, and he'd bang on. Crazy.
Oh, he got one. He got a venom.
Got a venom? Of course he did.
Told you, bolters will do it.
Yeah.
But if he's only going to get 1 a turn, man, that's
I mean,
he needs 10 turns.
He will.
But
he will deny Simon the kill more.
will he?
Well, yeah, because Simon only killed 1.
Yeah. Mind you, he's got a lot more stuff to come in, doesn't he? So it'll be interesting to see what Simon's damage output is next turn.
I think what he's going to do, it looks like he's just going to push that centre. He's going to just charge straight up the centre, start dropping units, and once he's cleared out some more venoms.
Yeah. I'll start chucking witches into those Death Watch teams up there.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to get behind him, though.
If he's not careful, what Simon wants to do, as he came over and mentioned, basically you'll have a number of venoms, like, you know, these ones at the back. What they'll do is the start of Simon's turn 2, they'll all drop their load and they'll just kind of zone out the space they need to. The venoms themselves will then move up to, like, you know, there-ish.
Yeah.
No, very accurate drawing there. All the venoms in the middle will probably drop their load and move here. The venoms will then keep going, and you'll have a couple of these venoms that just advance. And he'll take up the whole board, and come turn 2, Chris won't have any space to deploy a deep strike unit, and then he'll do it again turn 3.
Yeah, which is why I think what he's going to do is he's going to just keep pushing up that centre road, and feeding his deep strike units in slightly behind his units that he's pushing forward. Almost like a scrum. That's a scrum, isn't it, Hayden?
Hey, it's a Kiwi sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the yeah, only when the Aussies are doing absolute shit at it, which at the moment they're actually not doing too bad, but
yeah.
Did they beat us in the beginning?
Alright, so Celestine just took out another venom.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's got kill more.
He's definitely got kill more this turn.
How many objectives in this game? 4?
4. Yeah. So Simon, so the scores have gone in. Yeah, Simon's entered. The scores have been entered. They both got 3 points for primaries. So Chris got kill 1, kill more, hold 1, and Simon got kill 1, hold 1, hold more.
Yep.
Simon got 1 recon point. So Simon has taken a very small lead his first turn, and you'll notice Simon is already working out how far he can launch those venom.
It looks like the scores are even on Twitch. So Christopher's picked up a secondary.
He would have got so he would have got Butcher's Bill killing 2.
Killing 2 units.
Yeah,
you're right. Yep, sorry. I hadn't refreshed one of the screens. Butcher's Bill was secondary. I don't know if he goes by Chris or Christopher. Signed up as Christopher, so I don't know. If he's like me, I sign up as Joshua, but call me anything you want. I don't care.
Oh, we do, mate. We do.
Fair.
I bet Christopher's like his, the name he gets called when he's in trouble.
Christopher.
Christopher.
Yeah,
Roll better.
You know you're in trouble when you get the full name, mate.
Mate.
Speaking of names, so I'll answer your question from before. I forgot to answer it. So my Bartosz is my last name.
Yes.
So my first name is Andrew, but nobody uses it.
Mate, my first name is Josh or Joshua. My last name is Diffie. I don't really get called, like, sometimes people call me Diffie, but I get Diff. I get Diffster. I pretty much get anything but my name.
Yeah.
As I said, I don't care.
What my missus calls me, mate, and that's the word that you told me I'm not allowed to say on Twitch. So.
Good times.
Yeah. The life of a war gamer, mate. I tell you.
All right.
People out there that call by their last names, though. I'm glad people don't call me by my last name because no one pronounces it properly. So, actually, you do a pretty good job with it, Diffie, I must say.
Korach?
You do it all right. Sorry? Say again?
Korach?
Yeah, there we go. It's pretty good.
It's with a ch at the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It's a beautiful deli name.
It is. Bartosz, those delis are a beautiful, beautiful specimen of humans.
Handsome people. Generous too. And modest. So humble.
Stay humble. Stay humble.
That's how we do.
So let's see if your prediction here is right, Diffie, with what he's going to do. It's looking like it so far.
Look, I think what Simon needed to do, which I think he did, but not 100% certain, because obviously, we don't get. He measured stuff, I don't know for certainty, but he measured this one, and I just don't know how far with the advance. Because how far does a Venom move?
6, and then you can use the stratagem to go an extra 8. Oh, sorry, 16, and then a stratagem to make you 8. So yeah.
So 22, like 22, right?
Yeah.
If he pushes it down that way,
I mean, this one's probably the closest to be able to do it. Well, I don't think far enough. Look, we'll see. He's definitely zoning out. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So it could be. I think he's going to struggle to stop Chris getting anything down, but he should be able to stop him getting anything outside of right there. Like, he'll have to kind of deploy here or here, I think. Yeah.
I think if I was Chris, I would probably leave my deep strike until turn 3. Try. I know it's a bit risky, but you'd almost want to try and clear out a couple more Venoms.
Problem is, Bartosz, is that he can just drop those units down, and he can use them instead of the Venom. So you could just drop little 5-man squads down to block out areas.
The units aren't quite as maneuverable. I'm just looking at the board now. I'd say Celestine's about to cop a couple in the face. He's bottom sort of middle area, I think. Yep. So I think she's done this turn. Now, in the new rules, do you know if Celestine still gets back up?
Yep.
She does. Okay. Now, what's the rules on her getting back up? Is it like it used to be where she could get back up anyway?
Oh, I'd have to grab my...
Because if she does, that could get interesting.
Yeah, I don't have my book on me, but yeah, I can't answer that one, unfortunately.
I might do a bit of research on that because I have everything on my computer. I'll have a look.
I think the issue here is that he's gonna, those Ravagers are gonna start taking some chunks out of that those squads down there.
Yeah.
He hasn't finished movement yet, has he?
No, still moving by the looks of it. So what are you looking for? Chapter approved, wasn't it? The latest one.
Yeah.
2018. Oh, I can hear the wife yelling at the kids already. Oh, it's about to kick off. Oh, if you get that mute button ready. Is there any more? Why don't you tell people a story, Hayden?
Tell them a story.
Yeah, I don't know. Tell them something interesting other than dead air. Or maybe after listening to us for the last half hour, they might want some dead air.
They probably realise that we are not that interesting and have all
Yeah.
zoned out.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, well, we had a Simon was obviously part of the Queensland team. We went to ATC last year with the New Zealand team that unfortunately didn't go so well.
Who captained that team, Hayden?
Yeah, that was me. I captained that team. Also captained the team this year. So how about you watch us this year and let's just forget about last year? But one of our closest games was actually against Simon, and he was playing Harlequins. I can't remember if he had Dark Elder mixed in with it, but he was playing Brendan D, who was using Dark Elder or Drakari. And basically, so that's ETC mission, so it's a bit different to ITC. And they're Maelstrom cards. And from what I understand, in one turn, Simon got if you hold all objectives, you get D6 victory points.
Yeah.
That card. So he got that card and he achieved it, which you can do fairly easily with like an army like Harlequins. They're so fast moving. But then he also had Supremacy, so there's another D3. And then he also had, I want to say it was a secure, but it was a 1 point type objective. And he got 10 victory points in one turn. 10 victory points. So it basically came down to the fact that Brendan had to wipe him out to get the win. Because if you wiped someone out in that edition, you got a 20-0. And he got him down to one model. But they ran out of time to play the last round. So he couldn't kill it. So we would have got a 20-0 win over him, but just couldn't quite do it.
I've got an update on the Celestine situation.
Yep.
So she gets back up, but no longer gets up how she used to, wherever she wants. She can only get up, as close as possible to her previous position, but more than 1 inch from an enemy model.
Right. So she's going to be getting up roughly in that area, which is
pretty much the same.
So those models that are, can you see those three models, Bartosz, to the left of Celestine? Those are Simon's, aren't they?
Yes.
So he's kind of...
They were the ones that came out of the...
Mate, rules question. Doing my head in. This one. All right. So here's one for the chat and you guys. Flyers have in there. No, they're not all the same, obviously, but the Dark Elder ones. Hayden, you play any of the Dark Elder?
Sorry, bro.
Do you play any of the Dark Elder Flyers?
Well, the three that are over there at the moment with being in one.
All right. So in their rule, it says at the start. It says when you move them, first you pivot them up to 90 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
The question I just was asked is, do they have to pivot, or can they just go straight?
Well, you can just pivot half a degree and move straight.
Well, no, but the thing is, when you go, the argument here is, you pivot half a degree and then like you actually haven't gone straight. Anyway, I've ruled it that up to includes 0.
That was going to be my second point, was that if you're going to say up to, then 0 is up to up to 90. So
yeah,
nah.
and because I guess the other argument would be effectively I'm going straight, or I'm pivoting 0.000000000 repeated 1 degrees. Which is fucking straight.
yeah, exactly. Just slap that person, bro. It's
No. All right. So basically, long story short, the player asked the question in another event. I think it was the New Zealand Masters. No, New South Wales Masters. Sorry, New Zealand. New South Wales Masters was running flyers, and he was told that he had to pivot at least something.
Okay.
So he's like, well, that's what it was ruled against me. So I want to know, what's the ruling? I'm like, that sounds pretty shit to me. I asked my how. And basically, I went to Simon and Chris's game. Both of them have played flyers before. Neither are playing flyers this weekend. I'm like, how would you rule this? And they were the same. It's like, no, you don't have to pivot.
Yeah. Okay. I've never come across that, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mate,
It's funny the way how different rules get interpreted in different ways in different areas.
Yeah.
You know, and then you got like the garage gamers, and then they interpret rules in completely different ways as well.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Sometimes you look at some of these players packs, and you're like, man, you've basically rewritten the rule pack.
Yeah, pretty much. Look, I don't mind. I don't mind tournament organisers doing their own thing. I don't even mind tournament organisers writing their own FAQ. Like, so be it. Like, I mean, especially with so ITC basically said they don't want to write an FAQ. That Games Workshop have lifted their game enough. This is me paraphrasing, but basically, Games Workshop have lifted their game enough that with FAQs, it's like, well, there's no point us doing it because we'll do it, and in a month it'll be fact. So whatever. But there are still a couple of rules here and there that have been just, the forgotten child kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's one of the rules that really, really grates me, and I used to rule that. So it's that wobbly model syndrome where you can't assault something if it's on another level.
Oh, mate.
And I hate that rule so much. I hate it with a passion. So I used to say, look, if there's 1 millimeter of base left, you can put a model up there and you just put it down on the next level below and say it's up there. And I used to put that into my tournament packs, but I eventually just folded and was like, oh no, I'm gonna start following the rules as they're written by Games Workshop a bit more, and took it out of my players packs.
You following rules? What the hell?
I know it's like, it's what I do for a job and stuff, but yeah. But I'm almost tempted to put it back in there, right?
Mate, I had
sorry,
ARC last weekend, so ANZ40K, 170 something, 1350, 2 days, 6 games. In my final game, playing against a top bloke, had great games in the past, had a great game here as well, but basically I got boned so hard by him just playing the rules as they are, and he was playing Eldar, and we had a cityscape table. He put the objectives on the top floor of the ruins, which in the rule book there's nothing. In like ITC, I'm pretty sure it says they've got to be on the bottom, but in the rule book that's not a thing. And then he proceeded to deploy big squads of Guardians, squads of Dire Avengers, covering the entire second floor of the ruin. And I played Orcs who wanted to get in combat. And he had a couple of those platforms, which had a 2-up save in cover, and I had like some shooters. So I was never getting through that unit. It was so sad. He's just objective and tough luck.
Far out.
What do you do though?
Yeah, what do you do? It's just, yeah. It was funny because the last event that I ran, I also played in, and I happened to use wobbly models bloody rule into my favour, but I still, goddamn it, lost that game. Ugh. So that's all right.
Was that one of the few events you've run that you didn't win?
Yeah. So Diffie, I have a bit of a reputation in New Zealand that I run events just so that I can win them, and so I went through and I've had a look at all the events I ran, and I actually haven't won one of them. So, sorry, no, I won one. That's right, I won one. I have one.
That's where that horrible rumour came.
Well, no, because a rumour came before that. So I don't know who it's
To be fair, I actually spread that.
Fair.
Yeah.
In 6th edition, when community comp was a big thing in Australia.
Boo.
Hey. All right. Anyway, it was doing well. A lot of tournaments were using it. We had a period of time there where pretty much all of the lists that the main lads community comp were running, whenever it was debatable on whether or not something should be a credit or 2 or 3 or whatever, we always went up. Like, we always overcosted our own things. And then we had events. We had people saying, "Oh, you're writing so as you can like win all these events and take our money." And I'm like, dude, if we were doing that, we'd be way better. And two, for the entire 6th edition, I think there was one person that won one event from the community comp team that was involved in community comp. Like, it was, we did horrible. We did horrible with our own event, or the events that we use in the system. Oh, well. But we are the devil. We are the devil. In case you didn't know that.
Yeah, we knew.
Yeah.
No, sorry, when you said community comp, I was thinking back to the horrible days when we used to get everybody that was in the tournament to mark the comp on everyone's list. And so you'd go through and it'd be blind marking. Now, you can't see me, but that blind marking is, in quotations.
Yeah.
Because you'd look at a list and you'd go, that's fucking Hayden Corich, 1. That's Andrew Bartosh, 0. Or 0.5, But that's what people would do. And Diffie, the community comp you're talking about was the system that you guys developed around. You got certain credits or minuses depending on the units you took. And I played a couple of tournaments in New Zealand using that. Actually, I did enjoy that one. So I was thinking of a different community comp. So that was my booing.
The community comp system was not infallible. But no comp system is. Like, you do a panel system. I guarantee your lists get through the panel. Some will get hit harder than they should. Some will get through that should. The only difference is you know what score you're getting beforehand. And as a TO, this was the biggest thing. As a TO, you could say, not my problem. Like, there was no at the end of the event of someone going, what, you gave me a 1 out of 10? Like, I lost all my games, a rubbish list. And that, like, you don't have any of that. Instead, you have people bitching and moaning to the community comp page saying, hey guys, why do I have to pay this much for a grimoire? I'm like, because it's busted. Why do I have to pay this much for Fate Weaver? Because he's busted.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, just to interrupt you for a sec, the Black Carriage, which I assume is a member of your family, Hayden, has said Bartosh is super hard to hear. Apparently, I'm too quiet.
Too quiet?
Quiet. Am I coming through all right on your end?
Coming through pretty clear on my end, so I should be able to evolve.
Just, I think it's a case of Hayden flipping you some money just to turn me down so he gets primacy on the...
Who was this guy, though? I mean, this is a sweet name, the Black Carriage.
Yes. It's like a superhero name.
I'm thinking about changing my name to that. Maybe I could be... No, I was going to say the White Carriage, but...
You already are.
Oh, it's getting a little bit...
Yeah, a little bit too much. Hey, so back to the game. What's going on in the game, Hayden?
Yeah, so... we're still on the top of turn 2. So Simon's turn. We're in the shooting phase. He's been removed.
Has he got a model on the top objective, the centre top?
Simon?
Yeah.
Question?
Yeah.
It looks me like there is a guy here.
Right at the very top, yeah?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Dotted him in yellow. Looks like he's on there. Looks like we've got one on the bottom objective. We got plenty on objective 4. Objective 3 is, that's Christopher's. There's not much to do about that. Well, there's only a couple on it, but yeah, he's not getting it.
No.
It doesn't look to me like Simon achieved full board present.
No.
However, what he has done is he has forced Christopher. He has to drop this turn. Like if Chris doesn't drop turn 2, then this goes round, and you're done. Like, because I do want, like, how many Venoms do you reckon those Stormbolters can do without support? Not much.
With what's left, I mean, it's definitely going to get worse and worse. I think what he's going to end up doing is there's 2 squads on that centre road. I think what he could possibly do next turn, yeah, he's still not going to be able to stop all those Venoms getting back there, though, to block him out.
He's not. He has to come down.
He has to come down this turn.
What you're going to end up seeing
But
is you're going to end up seeing those 2. Is that 2 separate squads there on the middle of that road? I'm talking about the Dark Elder.
Yeah, there's 2 separate squads. He's only got 5 mans. So.
Only thing he's going to be able to do to help himself survive a bit longer is to move a couple of those units up, charge the back unit, kill it.
He's just charged Celestine. I think they're wishing. I'm going to actually I get a better view. Yeah, so it's 2 units of witches that have just, so the yellow squad and the blue squad, they've just charged Celestine. So remembering that there's 2 shard nets, like 1 in each unit. And
that might open him up enough of a gap to deep strike down just in front of that left objective there. Maybe?
Yeah, potentially. So he's just charged the sisters in this back left-hand corner with what looks like 3 warriors. He's just charged the Solitaire up the top near objective 3, as well as the Troop Master into the Death Watch. So that's that spot that you thought there might have been a gap.
Yep.
He's just filled that with
he's
the
just
Troop
filled it,
Master.
I'm not sure that's a good idea.
Well, so right now, we got space. So this one here, we got a unit here and a unit here. So look, in theory, you could drop some Death Watch here, which is a horrible position. You don't want to be there, right? In the bottom left-hand corner.
What he's charged into that squad, just on the top right-hand side there, is that going to be able to stick around after that squad's punched it in the head?
Yep.
Solitaire does. Well, to put it into context, in the last game, the Solitaire took out 6 Meganobs in one swing.
No.
Look,
has he got a 2-up involved?
The Solitaire? I don't believe so. I think he's got. He's definitely got an invuln in combat. I can't remember where he is. It might be a 3, it might be a 4.
3 up or 4 up, and it'll depend on other things as well. But yeah,
anyone in the Twitch chat got a codex open and want to have a look for it? Yeah.
I'm just wondering whether those 2.
Yeah, you see all those dudes kill.
Yep. But
4, maybe 5.
He's still going to have a Terminator and a Vanguard to fight us.
And that's brutal, eh? Because now he can just move forward, so it's just blocking off more areas where you can deep strike in.
Yeah.
That's all it's doing.
So, I don't think he's going to lose the Solitaire, but you just see that pile. Like, he's going to the Troop Master, not quite as hard hitting as the Solitaire, but does enough damage. Like, I mean, he's not a. So the Solitaire has a full-time 3-up invuln. Thank you very much. You rush.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
He may have killed that unit. There you go. And he's look. I don't think it's a difference, but he's piled or consolidated on the objective. Not that makes a difference because, as I said, it looks like there's like 3 balls maybe for the Death Watch on that objective, but he's definitely taking up that space. So I guess the question is whether or not base here to deep strike. If there's a model here, which I'll need to go double check, it's a little hard to see sometimes on these. If there's a model there, then no chance. But like, that's 9. That's probably 9. He probably has a little bit of space in that spot.
You've got the guy off to the left there as well, Diffie. Yeah, so it's...
So this guy. Yeah. That's a beautiful plan.
Yeah, you like the little man? There's a little bit of lag with Twitch stream, but we get there eventually. Hey, at least it's not a knob.
Well, trying to see if I can get you to draw one, but that's not.
I'll do one of them. Promise.
I was trying to think of a clever way to get you to draw 2 parallel lines along each side of that road, and circles to either side of the end of them.
Well, there is Venom over here, and don't forget that Ravager there. And these guys just really want to go kind of, up the line like that, maybe a little bit. Yeah, hey, we're a professional operation in this over here.
Yeah, I mean, that's a solid diagram of...
And how is California? No, well, thank you for joining us. So what time is it over there, just out of curiosity? So I know it's Friday night. It's fairly late, I think. So I've got... Because we were trying to get some US lads to do some streaming with us, and we just, between time zones and a few events, we just struggled to get it done. But I know Pacific Standard Time, this round started at 10 p.m. on Friday night, and we are a bit over an hour into it. So what? It's 20 past 11. There we go, 20 past 11. Came through the chat. Okay. Man, I'm good. I should have just waited till everyone's better. I know time zones.
Hey, sorry, Diffie. Did Chris just take out Simon's guys that were in that bottom left-hand corner? Did you take them all out?
Yeah. So basically, it looks like those sisters took out the Cabalite. Yeah. Celestine took out, looks like, one of the unit of witches. So she'll be stuck. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. She'll be at the end of this phase in combat 1 shard net. But as I said, like he's got spaces to drop down. But what Simon's effectively done is meant that basically Chris is going to deep strike in a very small subset of his deployment zone. Like he may as well have deployed.
Yeah.
I think a lot of players go on a little bit of autopilot sometimes, and it's like, I always deep strike, or I always do whatever. And you've really got to look at this game and go, well, this guy is going to cover too much of the table for me to bother. So it looks like Simon has paid the CP. I can't remember the name of the strat, but it's a Dark Elder strat. Harlequin strat that lets him fight twice with a character. Or with the Solitaire. He just paid it, or did it. And that Solitaire that was here is now over here, having a swing. Good on him.
I'm sorry, Shardnet, they can only hold...
It's a dice-off thing. I can't remember the exact dice-off, but basically you roll... Yeah.
I didn't think they could stop something that was a fly that had the fly keyword.
Correct, you're right, man.
Yeah, basically it's going to be if it's infantry. I don't believe fly has any impact on it.
Yeah. So sorry,
From memory.
I was thinking about my custode's bike, so they can't be held, but because
No.
she is infantry
No.
and fly, she can be held.
Yeah. And War Dancers, thank you once again, Cirrus Twitch. We have clearly a Harlequin player on the stream with us, all the way from California. Once again, thank you for joining us on this Friday evening, Saturday evening for us, and Saturday midday or afternoon for WA. And we're also going to try and get some English lads on. But unfortunately, it's the middle of the night. And there was no commitment.
No, yeah. That's what I'm hearing.
For this unpaid gig.
Yeah.
Mate, that Solitaire's gone.
Solitaire's gone.
Doing the business.
Maybe you overcommitted there, you reckon?
Oh, sorry. Did the Solitaire just die?
Yeah, Solitaire just got taken out.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't expect that, to be honest.
Yeah. It's, did he have a
purposely CP reroll to fail to say
Oh, you wanted to die with the Solitaire?
to fight again.
Oh, so that's how you fought again. Okay. Interesting.
I CP reroll a successful save.
Okay, so that's interesting. I'm assuming you heard all that. He saved the Solitaire, and then he CP rerolled it to die and died, and then got to play the strat that lets the character who before he dies fight. So basically, let him pile in and fight again. But of course, at the end of that fight, dead. So, yeah. I thought that second unit did the damage, but no, it was just the first unit.
Well, at least he's still got that other that troop master or whatever it is sitting on that objective, so he's still blocked off that area.
Yeah. Does that mean he has someone on all four? Yeah.
He does, yeah. Does he actually have a model on that bottom center one though? He must do.
Yeah.
He has.
Yeah.
He's got has
just
a capital warrior.
Yeah.
At the moment, he's got a troop master here on objective 3. He's got a death jesser on objective 2. I know there's a bit of a lag between what I'm saying and what you're seeing.
I can see it.
Then, obviously, he's got the right-hand side of the green pretty much locked down with Cabalite Warriors, a unit of witches, a Venom, Raiders, so Ravagers. As far as places for models to go, I'm kind of looking. There might be a little bit of space. I'm not going to measure it. There might be a little bit of space at the table, but most of it's space looks like at the back. And our other Masters game. So there's one other game. It's still in the Masters category, which is my man Adam Camilleri, my host Prime, versus Tristan T-Bone Jake. How's this looking, lads?
He's actually up on points right now.
So Tristan's up on points.
Sorry.
All right.
I'm up on.
Yeah. Pretty hard. Yeah. So as far as casualties are concerned, Adam's got a whole bunch of drones gone, but not enough by the looks of it. Tausept drones gone, which means the protection for the Riptides and the Broadsides are gone, but the Avara's drones are still there. Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys saw the first game.
I did.
You did?
Can you just pass along my a message for me to Adam and just let him know he is indeed a terrible person?
The whole of New Zealand think you're a terrible human being.
Not for beating Ben, just for the fact that he plays Tau.
And not for the Ben, just to play Tau. Yeah. Good time. Come on back. Yeah.
Hey, next time you're roving around, if you could give us an update on
I'll do it
Ben's
now.
game, and if you could just walk up to Ben and just gently caress his left buttock and just tell him that's from Bartosz.
I do not know him well enough. I'll give him a nice.
It's fine. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
The New Zealand lads say hi. He's yeah. How's this going?
No, like usual.
Sorry,
Like,
you're doing well.
I dropped a knife. The other one.
Oh. All right. So Ben's doing very well.
Good.
Yeah. He dropped, I think, a knight and 7 assassins in one turn.
Ooh. Ouch.
So he's playing 3 combat knights and I think 7 assassins. And I'm looking for
Josh.
here he is. Alright, so New Zealand, say hi. Alright, I think that game may look.
We just had a comment in the chat from Jester Thornton, Adam Thornton. He won't believe. He said he wouldn't believe it's from Bartosz because Bartosz doesn't caress gently. I will have you know, Adam Thornton, I am a tender and gentle man.
All right, so our good friend who's been helping a bit with the Harleys, Sirius Twitch, has said, he's up late. He's painting a Dark Elder for a tournament on Sunday. Mate, you got it all Saturday. And he said no price to sleep strat.
No price too steep. I think that's the one where the
steep. Yeah.
dude dies and gets to go off and fight again. Geez, painting up a paint. That sounds like every single wargamer ever up painting late to play in a tournament. Except for you, but you must be one of the only ones I know that doesn't paint late at night.
Nope, not me, because I prepare, organise, and I get shit done.
I'm not exaggerating here. I'm not exaggerating here. Died on Sunday because, legit, almost died. So on the Friday, I was playing at Arc, and my army was I started painting. Started an army which had 50 boys, 30 grots, 11 bike, couple of trucks, and some characters, and Storm Boys on the Monday. And on the Friday, I didn't go to bed. So at 7:30 in the morning, I'm like, that's going to have to be good enough, and I'm going to the event. Sunday night, I'm absolutely exhausted, driving home from Mark, and I pretty much fell asleep at the wheel. And I came I was one of those micro sleeps. I'm like, fuck this. I pulled over and had a power nap, which went for an hour and a half.
Those are the best power naps.
Nice.
Mate,
The best.
I messaged my wife and said, look, I'm gonna have
I'll be late home. I'm sleeping on the...
Yeah, it's in that I didn't get home, which look, I that week I got in favour with my wife because I was basically useless. We have a 1.5-year-old son, and I was a useless parent that week. Pretty much got home, started painting. And yeah, she wasn't overimpressed, and rightfully so. Maybe if I was like Bartosz and just got my army done in time, things would be different.
Hey, if everyone was like me, mate, the world would be a bit... because we'd all be playing Space Marines, and the
Would
game
be
would
such a
fair and
bland
balanced.
hobby.
Hey, but it would be balanced. No, I used to do a lot of on-call work back in the day when I was younger, and instead of stopping on the side of the road, I was an idiot, and I just used to power through, wind the windows down in the middle of winter, and turn the stereo right up.
Yeah.
You're still here.
Bugger that.
Yep. I very nearly wasn't several times. So it's definitely a better idea to pull over and sleep. Safer communities together, eh?
Got another rules question. 1 sec, lads. Keep going.
So I suppose we should look at the game. What's going on, Hayden? Looks like we in.
Yeah, well, it looks like he's deep striked in with probably everything.
Where's
I would
he
say.
coming? In that back
He's
building.
come down
eh?
that bottom left corner there. And he's also chucked some stuff up in that top right, top left corner as well.
What are we at? We're 7-5 on the score. He's only 2 behind, I think. Yeah. But we've still got his turn to go. I would say he's going to clear out that squad that Celestine's in combat with, possibly push on to that objective. He's got that left-hand objective, so he could even things up. Possibly, how many units did he lose last game? 2?
Yeah, unfortunately for Chris, Simon's done a really good job at stopping him from getting those recon points.
Yeah.
So when you look at the secondaries, we're up to turn 3 already, and I don't think he's got any recon yet. So there's a secondary that could almost be wasted for him.
So I don't see a way of look. There might be space in this kind of corridor where he might be able to get models into the top right-hand corner, and Celestine might be able to get in this bottom right-hand corner. But recon, so we're at the bottom of turn 2. So Chris, obviously Simon went first, so Chris is going into his turn. And Simon got kill 1, hold 1. Simon's on 2 recon points. So yes, he's taking a little bit of a lead. I think it's fair to assume that.
How many units did Simon kill in his turn?
That is a very good question. I am not sure.
Pretty sure it's 1.
But keeping in mind,
so I think
keeping in mind he lost units in his turn as well. So the end.
I don't think he's going to kill more.
No, Chris will get kill more. Chris will get kill more.
Chris will get
not
kill more,
killing anything.
And he can possibly even it up so that neither of them get hold more.
Possibly. It'd be a look. He's got some sisters down the bottom left-hand corner. They could try and charge in and get involved in that objective. Definitely an option.
I would say they're going to try and push through between the existing combat and between the Venom and try and engage that small squad that's just touching the objective there. They should probably do that.
So I'm not once again less familiar with all the different the change of the beta sister rules. But can Celestine still use her active faith start of the turn to fight like she used to?
I had it up before. I'm not sure if she can.
I think only get that now. I think they're very specific about it. If she can fight, she could potentially clear those witches just by hitting again.
Well, I mean,
and then move.
Well, he's already into his turn, so I'd say if he was going to do that, he would have by now.
Yeah, true.
But I don't. I'm not too familiar with how the new Acts of Faith work. But I'm sure they have some Eldar-like shenanigans up their sleeve.
I don't think they do anymore, eh? I think they got weakened quite a bit. Bartosz, you need to crank your sisters out so that we actually know what they're doing.
Mate, I will claim them as mine, but we all know they're Richard's sisters, our friend from Brunei. I will play them at some point. I'm just still too much in love with my custodes at the moment.
Well, they could be the girlfriends for your boys.
Well, I would really love to see Sisters of Silence get an HQ, so I can take a battalion detachment in there with the custodes. That would be a good note, I think.
So that charge down the bottom there, how big a charge is that? Are we going 7 inches again?
I'd say less.
I'd say less.
Yeah.
I'd say less. And the thing is, depending on what he's actually trying to achieve, he could declare a charge against the Venom, which is right, because he actually doesn't need. Because obviously he just needs one model. So once Chris moves his head out,
Actually, there
aren't
looks like
too
it's
many.
disappeared.
Yeah, I'm just going to see. I think there's a couple of dark looking models on the actual objective.
Right.
So I think it's two, maybe two witches might be on objective. But yeah, he's cleared it from there was some Cabalite warriors down the bottom left-hand corner. Bottom left-hand corner. They're now gone.
Yeah.
Um,
I think if he declares a charge against pretty much everything that's down there, so the unit in combat, the model sitting on the objective, and the Venom, if he makes a decent charge roll, he could get in and clear out that objective and sit on it.
yeah, 4, 6, there's 8 sisters there, and they actually do a reasonable amount of damage in combat, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And those additional reinforcements did end up coming down that bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Which was, I guess, the right call.
Because they're going to be able to push through, obviously, up onto that objective over the next couple of turns. It might be too late by then, but we'll see what he does.
Yeah.
Well, if he doesn't stay in combat, though, those Ravages annihilate a sister squad.
Yeah, true.
If they are near Celestine, I believe they get an invulnerable or a buff to their invulnerable. I'm going to pull the Codex back up and have a look.
Do it. That's why we have the ANZ40 Cabal guys on. They know what they're talking about.
That's right. Mate. We got the resources at our fingertips. Unfortunately, it's a bloody GW PDF file or digital file, and they are.
When you say fake, I think ebook. It's an ebook.
Yeah, it's the ebook. And their formatting is very difficult to read.
Yeah,
a lot of their stuff gets smushed together.
I'm not sure if font they use or whatever. But some of their like legit PDFs that you get. Most of mine I get the enhanced editions on the iPad, which are they're pretty good. But the non-enhanced ones are effectively the PDF ones you get, the ebook. Some of the text searches don't work because reasons. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but it ain't great.
So within 6 inches of Celestine, it's +1 to their Shield of Faith ability,
which I think
is a 6+ normally.
So they're getting a 5+ invul. It's not the best, but it's not terrible. Might save a couple of hits there.
It's better than no save. Like,
Yep.
That's a fact.
Yep.
And my Archon with his 2+ save never makes it. But seriously, I think the last tournament I played in, he made the biggest run I had was 7, but on average it was 2. But you get me to make 5 up in vulnerable saves. Oh my god. I ain't ever dying.
That's a fact. I've seen it.
Yeah. It is ridiculous. Oh look, he got a pretty good charge off down there as well.
Yeah. Look, the bike is in front, but the thing is the Venom is on the top, is on the second level, so the bike can't go up there.
The one down the bottom, where he's leaning over it at the moment, is that on top of a level, is it? I thought it was on the ground floor.
No, it's on that.
Oh, yeah, it's just on the edge of that second level, on the first floor.
No, this one down the bottom here.
Are you talking about the bottom left?
The bottom one's already been charged.
Yeah.
Because that unit had to deep strike him 9 inches away from that bike.
Yeah.
So
now, if you have a look at that bottom middle objective, that looks to be all clear now, doesn't it?
There's still they're now in combat with sisters. So look, Witches don't do great. They have to take a lot of saves. All right, I've got a rules question coming my way.
Okay.
From the stream.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking, Hayden, is that those sisters that have just charged in will probably be able to do enough damage to that little squad there to consolidate onto that objective. Even if they don't clear the whole squad out, which they should with Celestine there.
But they have to move towards the closest. So what is the closest enemy model?
Well, it depends. What he's going to want to do first is fight against that Venom. I believe it's empty. So that squad of Marines down there should be able to take that out.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess who's so.
Yeah.
For this to work, you'd need to kill that Venom, otherwise the sisters are going to have to consolidate.
Also, remember that those sisters still do have a pile-in move to make as well. So as long as they can get one model touching that objective, they don't have to move at all.
Or try and get two, because it looks like he's only got one touching it.
Now, that squad that's down there in combat with Celestine, are they troops or objective secured?
So here's that ruling. We were literally just talking about it. That bike is not going to help him get up the level. He will. So veterans have the infantry keyword.
Yep.
Okay. And it says for the purposes of determining transports, Terminators have this keyword, bikers have this keyword, and so on. But that biker can go up levels.
Wow. Huh. Well, that's a bonus. Odd, but it's a bonus. Oh, I think this just cut out again.
Another rules question.
Another rules question. So yeah, Hayden, that bottom squad down there, are they objective secured or troops at all?
I think so. It's really hard to see what they are from here, but I think they're a unit of witches, so which would mean that they're object secure. It's not going to be, because remember he's got a couple of lemons or whatever they're called, lemon. But I don't think it's them. I think
so what's your question? The bottom left-hand corner near Celestine.
The squad engaged with Celestine, are they true?
5 witches. Yeah, 5 witches.
Right. Okay. So him evening score up on this round is going to depend entirely on that little combat there.
Yep.
Yeah. It's quite important.
Well, there's 2 witches, I think, maybe at a push 3 on that objective.
Yeah.
So after pile in those sisters, so he hit with the veterans first and killed the Venom,
nice.
Which then
so now he doesn't have to consolidate towards them.
So the sister squad now piles in, and then get a control at the end.
Yeah.
And so we'll easily get enough sisters, I reckon, on that objective.
Yeah, so he's evened the score up.
Yeah, so he won't.
Round.
Yeah, so what he'll end up doing is effectively he won't gain a point, but it'll stop Simon from getting a point.
Well, yeah, but he will have evened up the score because he'll get Butcher's Bill if he kills that squad as well. And he'll get Killmore. And Simon won't get Holdmore.
Butcher's Bill, I think he's already got. So Butcher's Bill, he killed the Tabletop Warriors and now the Venom. So he's got that.
So he's got that.
He's going to take a point away from Simon. Because Simon would have had Holdmore.
Yeah.
So effectively, he's gaining 1 and removing 1. So it's a 2-point swing. Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be even again at the end of the turn.
Yeah, it should be. It should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. So it'll be. Yeah. So Chris will get he'll get 1 for. Now they fill out the score. So Chris is going to get kill 1 and hold 1. Those 2 points evens up the scores. Then you get 1 for Butcher's Bill, which should put him ahead by 1 point.
Okay.
And he might. No, he won't get recall. Yeah, so I think at the end of turn 2, we're going to see Chris on 8 to Simon 7, or thereabout. And I believe everything is down now. But as I said before, he's really forced Chris to really go in that bottom corner. So
yeah, Chris is he's definitely started the game on the back foot, but I think he's actually playing it very well.
oh, definitely. Well, I think
he doesn't have much option, but he's definitely playing it very well.
But so Chris has now pretty much cleared everything in a relevant range of that bottom left hand corner, which has a lot of models. All right, so they're pretty much out of the game for a couple of turns.
Yeah,
like and so Simon can just focus fire on the top unit of veterans currently in range of Venom, and if he was to with his whole fire base current on objective 4 on the right hand side, just take a whole fire base and move that further up. He can focus fire that unit in combat with the Venom, delete it, and suffer no repercussion. Like he could quite comfortably get whole kill 1 and kill more in turn 3 for Simon, and Chris will just get maybe hold 1, maybe hold more, but probably not even hold more. Like, yeah, it's going to be a big swing.
Who's winning?
It's close. Yeah, look, I think turn 3 is going to be a big one. And we're jumping into turn 3 now, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's actually up by 4 points.
Well, Simon's moving, but they haven't entered. Skills. No, it's just refreshed slowly. Yeah. So 4 points. Actually, you're right. So 11. So we've got 1 for Butcher's Bill. You got 2 for Headhunter. There's the additional point.
Yeah.
And you got kill 1, kill more, hold 1. So that pretty brutal turn 2 for Chris.
Yeah, it's a good turn for him. Good turn for Chris.
Taking a 4-point lead at this means the fact that bottom left-hand corner isn't killing anything for a while probably isn't.
Not as much of a factor as it would have been, yeah. It's at least brought him a bit of breathing room.
Yeah. So we have in the chat we have Forge NZ. I'm assuming I'm going to take a stab here. He's from New Zealand.
It's a good guess.
I mean, you come to this channel for the bold calls, but yeah, I'm fairly tall.
That's a bold call, Cotton.
Yeah, and then the Beast from the East, number 9. I really wonder if there were 8 other Beasts from the East. But that's Eric, the man, the myth, the legend, Lathuris, the winner of CanCon, winner of Queensland Masters, and yeah, all round nice guy who unfortunately can't get on any of the rides at the.
Oh no, it's okay. 4GMZ isn't from New.
I'm a filthy southerner, and you're South. Yeah, and that's not.
No.
All right, that's a bold statement from the ANZ40 cabal. They just decided, you know what? Anyone in South Island, nah.
It was actually they don't want to be to a different.
I can't. I've got to stay out of this because my wife's from the South Island, so it's just safer if I stay out of this. But
I might have to look into that. But recently, come up in the news that there's a group of people putting a petition forward in the South Island to actually change the name to New Zealand South, I believe.
Really?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
This is the sort of thing you expect from South Islanders.
Anyway, so 4GNZ says see you boys in April. So obviously he's coming to the NZTC. So Diffy, this is a tournament that me and Andrew have started up. This is the first year it's run.
Who?
We're hoping to grow it. And we're going to basically, moving forward in the future, it's going to mimic whatever the ATC is, but obviously at a New Zealand scale.
Yeah, which funnily enough mimics the ETC.
TC, yeah. So the hope is that eventually I want to get a New Zealand team into the ETC.
Do it.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Obviously, the costs are quite extreme for us, but I think we could do it if we build up, through the NZT, the ATC. I think eventually we'll be able to get a team together for the ETC.
So depending on your goal, keeping in mind, like last example, we had a Kiwi. You only have to have 4 players with a New Zealand passport to have a New Zealand team. Australia is picking up a fair bit of steam with our team selection. If you decide, hey, we can get 7 people or 6 people that are really keen on going 1 year, and you need a few extra bodies, you can either give us a holler. We can send you some Aussie lads, or alternatively, they do have mercs. So players that are just Europeans that for whatever reason didn't. So the Europeans, obviously they don't have as far to go. They don't have as much to spend on their flights and accommodation. All right. So as far as they're concerned, their team selection, generally speaking, they send their best players. So when you're looking at a merc, they're the 9th or 10th kind of best person in their country, versus when you look at some of ours, I wouldn't necessarily put it in that category. But hey.
You know who I'd want to pick up as a merc? I mean, if we had the choice and we had the selection of anyone we wanted, Kenny Bush from the long walk.
Oh, really?
For no other reason than that man looks like he'd know what a good party was like.
With that ridiculous facial hair, yeah, you're right.
I would love to take that man out to the strippers one day. I reckon that would be a good night.
But anyway, going back to that offer there, that Diffie, with the Australians jumping on the team, I'd much rather take someone from Australia than a European-based person, simply for the fact that
racist.
Well, yeah. But just trying to build up that community. We're more likely to come to Australia in the future for a tournament than we are to go back over to Europe. So, I'd rather build up the community between us two. Find it somewhere else. So.
And that's the same for us. So we had expat, so an Australian that's living in London, and we had Pascal from New Zealand, violin playing dude who beat Nick Nanavati.
Whoa!
So yeah.
How did he go against Nick?
Well, he beat him.
Beat him, so good.
Oh, sorry. It's just kind of there. So.
Got a bit of a sad story about Pascal. His car recently got broken into, and he had a whole bunch of Blood Angels stolen out of his vehicle.
No way.
Yeah, a couple of relic Leviathan dreadnoughts, some Sandguards, and troops. Yeah.
Has he got any insurance?
I don't know.
I'm sure he would, but if anybody's offering anybody Blood Angels in the back of a car park in a dodgy pub, let me know, because, man...
We'd love to find out.
I don't like to investigate mates' crimes, but, man, I'll investigate that one, happily.
Look, it's probably... Look, tell him to do a GoFundMe.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
That's exactly what that card's for. I mean, the dude's had his arm stolen. That stuff ain't cheap to replace. He might not, look, let's face it, nerds don't have a huge amount of disposable income that they're not already spending on their own hobby. But, there'll be people out there that'll either, A, go, all right, I'll chuck you, $10, $20, because I would hope that someone would do that for me. My army was stolen. But you'll also have people who do have Blood Angel armies. Go, you know what, I've got these stuff on sprue. I'll either donate it or we'll do a deal.
Yeah.
It's sad, but as I said, GoFundMe or just whatever.
Yeah.
We're happy to promote some of that on the network as well. Really help it get to some other people. We'll see how we go.
Cool, mate. Well, we'll send you the details anyway when we talk to Pascal.
Sick.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of charities, I just want to mention too that later on in the year, I believe end of July, we're actually running with Mighty Ape and ANZ40K, we're running a charity tournament for the Auckland City Mission.
What do they do?
So they support and feed the homeless people in Auckland.
Yep.
So they give them a place to stay. They feed them, like in the American movies where they have the soup kitchen sort of setup.
Yep.
Like that. So we're running a ITC style event, but we're using a lot of the proceeds are going to be going cash directly to the city mission. We're also going to be donating food items, so cans, things like that. And they're going to be used to cash in as extra CPs at the start of the game.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we've added an extra secondary, so for every can you donate during the game, you get a secondary point, 4 points.
Okay. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
So yeah, we have a massive problem in New Zealand at the moment with homelessness, particularly in our big city centres. Just with it's affecting a whole range of people now. It's not just the typical poor that you used to see anymore. It's there's also working people now that are homeless. So yeah, it's a good cause. So if anyone's in New Zealand want to come and help us out and support it, appreciate it.
Sure. Well, as I said, when details if you want us to plug on our end, happy to. So whether that be most, I would suggest most of our audience in New Zealand, we probably even got because of your, you being on here or through Facebook. But as I said, if you've got a thing, we're happy to post here and on the Facebook page and all that jazz. We're keen to help the charities and it is because look, without it, everyone goes through tough shit every now and then, in obviously varying scales. Some significantly worse than others, and it's not. As you were saying, Hayden, not the typical stereotype that from days gone. You've got people that are, they're overcommitted on mortgages. There's people who, all kinds of stuff that are just running it tough. That end up on the street.
And not many people noticed if I haven't actually told many people, but I at one point was homeless myself when I was 17 for about 6 months to a year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I know how rough it can get. I luckily had a car to sleep in, but it's still not pleasant.
Yeah. Well, thank you for opening up about 25 viewers.
I look like a homeless person, to be fair.
You do. You pull it off still pretty well, I think. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should go back to the game and have a look at it. There's a game of 40K going on.
So what's happening? It looks like whose turn are we in now?
So we're still in Simon. So Simon is, he has kind of moved the fire base a little up to the left. I think mainly so as he gets some more firing lines through this gap here that I have just drawn on said screen. But yeah, so Simon is looking at just killing stuff, shooting gallery. Not much else to it. Pick up dice, roll dice. Oh, not overly exciting there info on turn.
It's unfortunate too because I don't think Chris has enough speed to really corner him like he is at the moment. Like that if you had a faster army, that would be the perfect time to just bottle him into that top right corner. But yeah, he's probably not going to have the speed to get all those Marines up there.
Nah, he's so I'm pretty sure the way those teleport homers work, teleport back to a beacon, or you can teleport to your Watchmaster dude who has that relic.
Yeah, the Beacon Angelus. So
I'm pretty sure he's down the bottom left-hand corner. So.
Yeah. He
may have held him one turn.
He has got a jump pack on him, so he could be in deep strike, or he could jump out and advance to get them a bit closer. He's still got to stay outside of the 9, though.
Yeah.
But if he has held them in reserve, it's possible that he could just dump them onto that bottom objective.
Could dump them on the bottom objective. Could dump them up the right. Corner. There's a lot of gap there.
Space now.
And then effectively summon, from lack of a better label, summon the mans to that back right hand corner. But look, once again, another turn that realistically I don't see. Look, Celestine could head up to that top right-hand corner pretty easily. The sisters could move across to the right, and he could get recon for the first time in turn 3.
Yeah. I think if he tried to get recon now, he would put himself in a worse position. I think sometimes you've got to make the call on what secondaries are worth taking and what are worth just ignoring for the benefit of the whole game.
I don't know, Bartosz. I just think you can move that top squad across. Doesn't have to go across that much further. But only has to go, and then
to me, Celestine would be far more useful ticking over the Butcher's Bill and Headhunter secondary and just getting stuck into those venoms.
So basically, find a venom that has characters in it.
Yeah.
And go after that.
Go for it. Yeah. That would seem far more useful to me than using her to go and get a recon.
My 1 hour announcement. 1 hour left in the round. I'm not sure. Look,
boys, I'm just going to shoot off for a second. I'll be right back.
I'll allow it.
Yeah. I think he's been summoned. It must be the mini Hayden's bedtime.
It looks like it's 9 o'clock.
Yep, it is 9 o'clock here. I've still got 3 of my kids awake. I hope the missus is sorting that out.
How old are your kids?
I've got a 15-year-old daughter, a 12-year-old daughter, and a 9-year-old son.
How many guns do you own?
Not enough. Not nearly enough, mate.
So Face 948 has just rejoined. I'm back. What's happening? All right, so we're at the top of turn 3. It's Simon's turn. Well, actually, I'm going to take that comment back. I think we may now be in the bottom of... Really hard to tell. We're in turn 3. I think that may be a parley move. That may have just been a parley move with St. Celestine. Yeah, there's not much else to move. So it's top of turn 3, Simon's combat phase. So this turn, Simon's probably going to get a hold 1, kill 1. He will definitely not get the hold more because he kind of had to bail out of the left and bottom objectives.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Look, he's gotten rid of a handful of sisters this turn that were hanging around St. Celestine. He's gotten rid of a few veterans.
Did he clear out that whole unit that was in that middle top building?
The middle top. So the one that charged up.
Yeah,
that's a good question.
I think I saw him push some models underneath that, and I'm just not sure if they were Simon's or Chris's.
So on the left-hand side of a wall, we have a heavy bolter, another dude with a bolter, and a Terminator. And on the right-hand side of that wall, we have a whole bunch of witches, and I think some characters in there as well.
Okay. Well, that's a potential for another headhunter. Whose characters won't like the Terminator. It's not a terrible spot. It's a bit of a stalemate, but it's not good or bad for either of them, I suppose.
Yeah, so he's just so Simon's just managed to kill a bunch of he's killed the heavy bolter dude and the bolter dude. The Terminator left on, I think, 1 wound.
Okay. Slightly worse for Chris.
And he's just taken him off.
Yeah.
So that got, he got through them eventually.
Yeah.
And what else? So at the moment, so Celestine is in combat with an Archon.
Can the Archon roll 2s?
That is a very good question.
One at a time. There we go. Alright. Second one he failed, eh? Yep.
Celestine's got 1 wound left, and she's already died once.
Right.
So it's
It looks like the Archon just possibly bit the dust.
No. Archon just swung.
Oh, right. Was that his attacks? Okay.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything exciting?
So the Archon managed to just do do some wounds saying Celestine, putting Celestine on 1, and she has already died once. And looks like Simon was able to few units again. Just looking through, he the assist squad, 1 unit of vets, and as soon as Celestine drops, that's a bunch of Kingslayer points, I think. No? So Warlord. You did. Yeah, Simon's down on himself. He saying he should have picked Celestine Kingslayer, but he didn't. And so the Warlord just chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to let you guys have it out for a second because I've had quite a bit to drink and I need to go to the
to go get the fire.
You can. I need to put out a fire. I drain the lizard. I need to take a piss.
Fair enough. Don't leave your phone on.
Assuming that.
Maybe I will.
Well, maybe you should. I'm assuming that Face 94A, who obviously knows me quite well, is surely that's got to be Dave Loy. Surely
must be. Yes, it is. That Face rings a bell. Isn't that his nickname?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
mate.
his nickname.
Face.
Yeah.
Ex Aussie originally, wasn't he? Once upon a time.
He sounds like one.
Yeah, but we claim him now.
Do we though?
Wow. So Chris is. What are we thinking here?
Well, I mean, Celestine on 1 wound left. I mean, she's obviously going for the suicide charge. There's no point in letting her hang in the breeze. He's going to pick up that bottom objective. He's going to have the top objective. The left objective. He's in a bit of shit though because he hasn't, aside from that one squad of sisters, he hasn't got a lot of stuff to push through with.
Did he just get recon?
Yes, quite possibly. Is that line in the centre that must be exactly halfway? So
I'm assuming so. Yeah.
He still hasn't got anything in the top right unless he's got a unit that he can deep strike down into it.
Yeah, but the Saint can claim it because it doesn't matter what quarter.
Oh, right. She can claim any one of them, right? Yeah. So yeah, he'll have a point in recon.
I'm trying to remember when recon scored though. Is that at the end of your turn? So she might not be alive.
Well, yeah, or depends. It depends if he can kill 2 units. Then he'll get kill more, so he doesn't have to charge Celestine in, so he can just leave her there for the extra bonus point. And it has the effect also of they're going to have to dedicate some fire to her to kill her next turn. Probably a smart play if he can kill 2 units. I just don't know if he's got. I mean, the Archon's probably going to bite it, so there's 1. I don't know.
I'm assuming that's Seraphim that he's moving up there.
Yeah, the jumpers. They've got 2 melter pistols. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 2 melter pistols.
Definitely in the list.
Yeah, he's got 2 units of them. 2 squads of them in there. Yeah, I mean they get up there, but again, yeah, it just depends. If he can kill 2 units with shooting, he'd be best to leave Celestine where she is. Maybe even best to leave her where she is anyway, because you don't have to roll the dice to get that extra point. Whereas if it's down to Celestine to kill something, she may fluff it and he may not get anything. So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it should be fairly safe to charge a Venom for Celestine, but then you don't want to risk it when you're only sitting on 1 wound.
Yeah, still like I'm not sure. He's got the double cannon because if it's double cannon, it's still 12 shots.
Yeah. So
oops, sorry.
There's an Archon. So Celestine's just like left the Archon, and the Archon is sitting there on 1 wound. Currently surrounded by the unit of Seraphim, a number of vets. Now, some of those vets, the witches are closer, but boy, howdy, that Archon better roll hot.
I'd say the Archon's pretty well toasted. Hey, we've got to give a shout out to this. We're just seeing this in the chat. Dave Louie, congrats on the new small human.
Oh, congrats, mate! You're is that his first?
Second, I think.
Second, Bubba.
Oh, mate.
Nice work, bro.
Well
Got
done.
2 past the goalie.
Yep.
Well done.
Well done for all that work you did birthing that child. It ticks me off when people say we're pregnant. You know, when you have those couples that say, "Oh my God, we're pregnant." No, you're not. No, your wife's pregnant. You're not. It's just those people that when you ask how old their kid is and they say, "Oh yeah, 22 and a half months." So almost 2 years old. Cool.
All right. So I've got a 1.5-year-old, and he isn't 1.5. All right. He's like, I don't know, 17 and a bit months or whatever. But basically, what I went with is you go with month until about 14. All right, maybe 15 months at best. After that, it's 1.5.
You put in way more effort.
I've got a 21-month-old baby.
Fuck off. You're a dick.
But at what point? Like, what happens if you've got if you got a 9-year-old? Do you say, look, I have a 108-month-old child? Like,
yeah, it's a bit ridiculous, isn't it?
Samuel James Louis. All right.
Nice. You could swap the Louis to a middle name, and then you could give him the surname of Jackson.
Samuel.
Yes, do it. Have a little angry black man. It'll actually quite suit him as well because he'd be in Rotorua.
It'd only really work if you taught him his first word would have to be motherfucker.
Jackson and some entertainment reporter person on one of those channels, and he asked him about what it was like to do. How did he work? Something like that Marvel ad for the Super Bowl. I think maybe that was the one. Anyway, and he wasn't in it. It was Morpheus. Yeah.
He said something to him like,
oh, we're not all the same.
Yeah. that was cringy, mate. That was terrible.
It's funny though.
Although, funnily enough, and this is gonna start to sound a little racist, but it's not. So at my office at work, so me and a couple of the girls were sitting down having a coffee the other day. Now I'm white. One of the office girls is Samoan, and one of the other girls is Korean. And we're all sitting around trying to decide we've decided that I can't tell what a good-looking Samoan person looks like, and she can't tell what a good-looking white person looks like. It's very strange.
All right.
Yeah. Unless it's him, then I can tell. There's a man that we game with him, and he's a good-looking other man.
Does he play Black Temple?
Does he have Templars? I think he did. Yep.
What's his name?
Are we talking about
Hino.
same day? Oh, Hin.
Yeah.
Hin. Yeah, he brought Black Templars to ATC in 2012.
Yeah, I thought so.
With them.
Yep.
Cool lightsaber.
It was ridiculous because he wasn't supposed to win.
So big shout out to the Beast from the East, Eric Man, the legend. He has been running mid carpet, so pretty much nothing but termagants in the competitive scene for a while now. He won CanCon with it, he won Queensland Masters with it, and he just sent a message in the chat saying Nids are in retirement diff. How does that make you feel? It makes me feel sad. It makes me feel sad. The main reason it makes me feel sad is because he was running like 180 gaunts in a list. And he was getting all his turns in. All right. So my issue with people that like have a lot of models saying, "Oh, I can't get turns in; it's hard." Well, that's not accurate. All right. You just got to be less shit.
Yeah. That's great advice for anything I think in life. Just be less shit.
Yep. I think he played.
Actually, sorry just to interrupt there, but I actually heard his interview the other day on is it Best Infection?
Yeah. With he was there with Camilleri as well, I think.
Yeah, and the way I think he actually shocked the American dude. I can't remember his name now, because obviously his NID list that he was using in Australia was quite dominant over here, but of course there wasn't really any dominant NID players in America, so they were like, "Well, how are you making them work?" And I must say, he had a really good chat about that, and it was really interesting to listen to him talk about it and the way he built it up and the way he talks about meta and stuff like that, and about how he had to change it. I think he said he needed more bodies if he was going to come to this Masters. Is that right, the Beast from the East? If you're going to come to this event, that you're going to have to take more models? Because it already sounds like you were taking quite a lot in the first place.
Mate, 180 plus gaunts, old one eye. Let me actually look at Can I think had the most, or maybe Queensland Masters. It had a lot. I'm just going to bring up the CanCon list because it's probably close enough to be dangerous. And he'll probably chime in at some stage to say what he took.
Shout out to my homeboy Carl Pierce. He's listening. Now came in. How many people we got watching at the moment?
24 viewers.
24.
Look, we have we peaks. We probably end up a peak for us would be around 40 live viewers.
Yeah.
But then I'll probably check the stats. We get quite a few watchbacks. So because it's a lot of time commitment to for a whole weekend to get stuck in. I think he had like 160 gaunts at CanCon, but I'm pretty sure he ended up more at Queensland Masters. But as to let him chime in, I think he was running. I'm not sure if it was an event this weekend or a practice game, but he was. I'm talking to NZ Cabal lads.
Talking to yourself.
Oh, mate.
Now look at that. The score's just updated, and he's still 4 points up.
Yeah. So the end of that round.
Hey, that looks like the physique of a top player.
I'll let that one slide. I'm gonna try and not kill the audio, but I don't guarantee. So let me just mute one thing for a second.
Can you hear me come through? That was shit.
Ran 270 gaunts at Masters. That is a lot of gaunts. Did you see that score, Hayden? Tick over on that too? 4 points up.
4 points difference.
Yep.
So they're just finished turn 3, so they're about to go on turn 4. They both got kill 1 and hold 1. Neither have got the more of that. Chris, I'm not sure how he's done this. Butcher's Bill, is that in a turn? Right, so he can't be on 4 because he's only on turn 3.
He got recon that turn.
Can you get Butcher's Bill in your opponent's turn?
Can you get Butcher's Bill in your opponent's turn?
Yeah.
I can't see why not. It's a player turn, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you can.
Secondaries, we're pretty sure are scored at the end of the battle round.
Okay.
I need to double check that. Notables. Well, I don't know if notables is right. Do you call yourselves notables, lads?
Miscreants.
Miscreants. Yes, so we have Hayden Korach and Andrew Bartosh. I only learned his first name today, I think. Yeah, everyone's calls him Bartosh. So, no, they're not. Yes, from the ANZ40K.
They're commentating right now.
They are. Yeah.
We're attempting to. We're trying.
Yeah.
I'm just not talking with you.
You can talk if you want. I don't know if they can hear you.
We can hear him a little bit. He's quiet, but we can hear him.
You're quiet. Oh, you got up? Mate. So that means you're going to the final round.
Whew.
All right. So Mr. Adam Camilleri, this guy here, the one that they said was done. He had no towel. No, I'm kidding.
He's over the hill. That old.
Has come to master with a towel list that he's pretty much never played before.
Played two games.
2 games before this with the Codex.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 games with the entire Codex before this event, and has managed to make it into the final round.
Well, I tell you, I never believed the things they were saying about
Brain
him.
hurts, man. It's a long day. For sure.
Buttle?
Where's Bottle?
Don't know, actually. He's hiding somewhere.
At
Yeah.
home?
He's doing something important. I don't know what that is.
Look, well, the question, I guess, I mean, it's a weekend, right? Is the jar on the shelf or in the purse? Or where's the jar?
I think they're actually mounted on a
I
cart.
get you.
They're mounted on a what?
Yeah. I mean, mine have to be kept separate. We've seen that thing where, if, like you dismember the body of a zombie, and if you keep them too close together, it reforms itself. So my wife keeps one in the handbag, and one is in a safe deposit box that I'm not allowed to know the location of. She occasionally gives me the one out of her handbag every now and again, but not too often.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
That is,
But they all have different methods, I mean, Hayden's wife sold his to a Chinese corporation. Yeah.
Alright. As we've said before, I do what I want to do. My wife doesn't dictate anything.
Go get
Apart from everything.
Kate. Go get Kate. Bring her in the room and then say that again.
I'm looking over my shoulder at the moment.
Very close.
yeah. Celestine's about to kill them all.
Ooh.
Or at least scored a recon point.
Yeah.
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 So I was right there. She got the recon point for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it looks like she's probably not long for this world.
No, but he's going to have to shoot her with something, which is something less going into the Marines and the sisters.
Yeah. Has she got back up yet?
He's
She has got up once.
I'm not sure. I'm not
yes.
sure about this movie's doing here. He's putting everything on that top objective. If he doesn't have a really cracker shooting phase, he runs the risk of losing 3 objectives in Chris's next turn.
Yeah, true. And for the record, secondaries player turn.
Yep, player turn.
So that was double Butcher's Bill in turn 3. Pretty impressive.
Mm.
So sorry, you can get 2 butchers in a turn, no?
Yep.
Yes.
Per player turn. So he had
Turn, no?
2 in Simon's turn, 2 in his own. That's pretty good.
Yeah, something to be wary of, when you got little 5-man squads charging in and stuff like that, and they can be easily killed, and you don't want to give your opponent.
I tell you what, one thing that's going on here, and I don't want to take anything away from Simon, who is obviously playing a bloody good game, but Chris is playing his ass off in this game.
He's playing very well.
Yeah.
Celestine is dead.
Yep.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch, oh, witch. That's all I got.
Is she?
Oh, Ben. Oh, look, the scrub is
Oh, no. Is he drunk yet, or...? I'm surprised he's still standing, to be fair.
Nah, he's not drunk yet. He's not on the floor.
We gave him 2 beers.
Oh,
Jeez. We gave him 2
jeez.
at the end of round 1.
Ah, so
Well,
he
that's
is
enough.
drunk. Yeah, he is drunk. Then.
I see you just bounced back and had a big one though, so good on you, Ben.
Nice, Ben.
All right. So we have a whole bunch of guys that have finished their games, which is one of those things. Obviously, we've moved rounds to 3 hours with the feedback that we've been given. And on the most part, players are finishing their games, which is, it's always a good start.
So I assume that was Adam that typed that. What's up, you sassy nuggets? We are sassy nuggets.
Hey, who's that coming in as NZ40K? Is that you, Bartosz? Type it in the chat as well as.
It might be, yeah.
Yeah.
It could be someone else. I don't know.
Just
Ghost.
using 2 different forms.
Yeah, I can do that now. See, what is it? What is Hen's ghost? TJ Bilby. He had something where he was the ghost player and he had a name tag like TJ Bilby or something. I can't remember.
All right. Please, I'll leave you guys alone for 2 seconds and the sassy nuggets.
The sassiest.
Going back to the game, Bartosz, I mean, where do you think old Simon goes from here, mate?
Simon, I'm not sure he should have put so much on that top objective. He's definitely got the firepower to finish the game, but I can just see Chris just pushing out to that far right hand objective. He's not going to have much trouble taking that venom off it.
Well, to do that though, he doesn't really have much. Like, he's got a unit of veteran kind of in the center, and that's all that's going to make that distance, in my opinion.
He doesn't necessarily have to hit on the objective to make a difference. He's got enough bulkers there to kill that venom to get it off the objective.
Is that venom? There is. Looks empty. Because Simon's pretty good at putting models on top of tanks.
The problem I see with them going for that one, Bartosz, is he's already quite thinned out, and so I wonder if he'd stretch himself too much by doing that.
He only has to do it for a turn, mate. That's the thing. Like, he's still 4 points up. If he keeps putting points up, even if it comes down to a draw the last couple of turns, he could win it.
Yeah, Simon might get another repoint. He's probably going to struggle to get Kingslayer because it's the watch mark, which is currently like in this kind of space here, I believe. So he hasn't really overly committed to that area, as far as I can tell. Unless there's a couple of like beefcake characters in there that have gone over there, but I don't think they are. So at this stage, though, Chris has maxed out Butcher's Bill, so he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. He's got 3 points for Headhunter, so he might get another Headhunter point, but not much. Recon, Celestine's gone. He ain't getting a Recon point, in my opinion. So at that stage, Simon will get one more Recon point. He's going to get Killmore this turn, I think, because I think we've got a bit of a momentum switch. I think in the first few turns, Chris was able to take out the easy kill point, whereas now he doesn't have as much damage output to do it.
Yeah.
And look, we're in turn 4. The only thing that could really hurt them now is time. We're being fairly strict on time. regardless of which game it is, because my mindset, given you 3 hours, with more than most events in the first place, and on top of that, it's all well and good saying, "Oh, no, we'll let you play into the evening." We're not getting kicked out of here. Like, the place is still open probably till 11 or 12, and there's a bar. But, like, then one of their opponents in the earlier rounds, or anyone in the earlier rounds, says, "Well, hold on, how come I didn't get to do it? You know, why did they get special treatment?" So I'm like, "Nah, stuff this, dice down." You know, in half an hour. We'll see how it goes, though.
Just on a side note, it looks like both our Kiwi boys had pretty decent wins in that last round as well, so just quite nice. Nice for us.
I'm just going to excuse myself.
Yeah, so I'll just put the link up on the chat. So downunderpairings.com and the tournament. You'll be able to see the current leaderboard there as well, amongst the standings page there in the chat also. So yes, we've got... what have we got? Just scrolling down a little bit. Ben Clark got his first win. So he lost round 1, round 2, didn't he? And Josh Hill is on 1 win. But that game's still going. So
is it?
Yeah.
I just had a look at it and thought it was done. Looks like he's in a commanding lead, so hopefully it's a win for him.
Yeah, so far, Josh is 27 to 15. The game's still going, but yeah, Josh commanding lead there. And as I said, Ben Clark finished with a 38 to 8, so it was a pretty dominant win.
Finally got a soul burst powers off, eh?
Mate, round 1 against Adam, not getting soul burst off for the first 3 turns. 3 turns with rerolls is brutal.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, but it happens sometimes. You just gotta live with it. But man, it's when you need it to go off in games like that.
What are the...
Alright, I'm just being rules judge. Game over. Alright. You guys chat. I'm gonna rule.
Yep.
Just talking about
Are we ready to make a bold prediction?
bold prediction.
Yep.
What could our bold prediction be? It's pretty tight still. I reckon Simon's got the firepower. And being a Dark Elder player, I think he's got the firepower there to
I think
to finish the job off.
End up being maybe 1 or 2 points in it either way. Probably looking more towards Simon's favour, but man, Chris has surprised the shit out of me on this so far, so
Yeah.
you just don't know. And Simon does have a lot of little squads on that bottom left hand side there that that Chris should be able to kill, even though he doesn't have a lot there.
Yeah, well, he's just running out of bodies.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing. Like,
again, too, they've only got 25 minutes left. I mean,
yeah, they might. I reckon they'll end on turn 5 would be my guess. And at that point, how does that look? Also, I love Louis' comment. Nickelback is better than Metallica. Discuss.
Yeah. Now we shouldn't even entertain this.
Let's just not go there. Let's just not go there because I think we'll end up.
It's a fuss,
there'll be some prayers shouted out to the corn god. Yeah,
we're actually
jobs.
There's a few guys because I've obviously Metallica's coming to Auckland in October.
Yep.
And a few guys have been on my Facebook page saying that they like Nickelback better than Metallica. And what Hayden and I have decided is we're going to arrange a fishing trip with these people, deep sea fishing. But we'll just ask that they don't tell anyone. It's a bit of a surprise. So we'd like if they didn't tell their wives or friends or workmates, where they would go.
We don't even need to go deep sea though. I know some rock formations in the Bay of Islands that
we could go for a little cruise down the Waikato River.
So you've just said that. Yeah, good luck.
No, it's fine. That's fine. Look, we know. I'm sure we can.
We know people that know people.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not touching that.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah. No, I won't. No, I'm not touching that either. I'm not down there.
So what's your prediction here, Diffie? What do you think, mate? I'm going with the fact that Simon's got too much firepower left.
Simon has too much left. I don't see how Chris has enough to get through what is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Venoms. 7 if you include the one that's currently on that left objective. That's probably dead. Like 7-ish Venoms and 3 Ravages. He doesn't have enough left. Like Celestine's gone. The jump pack dudes look like they're gone. Most of the veterans are gone. I'm just going to have a real confirm of the units that are on the table. That top-down view is sometimes misleading. Objective 1 is completely cleared. So that one. So the center one down the bottom is nothing but witches and Cavalite warriors, or just witches. So yeah,
I'm gonna be because I'm gonna.
You're gonna say what? Because you were a bit choppy there.
Sorry, mate. I'm gonna say time's gonna run out, and Chris will be up by 1 point.
Oof.
Bold call.
So right now, objective, and this objective. Like comfort. Chris has, I think, a character here and a veteran squad here, and that's it. Simon's actually looking like he will hold all 4 objectives. So there's a potential here that Simon, in turn 4, Simon's going to get kill 1, kill more, hold 1, so 4 points. He'll get another one for recon, so 5 points. That'll put him 1 point up. I'm not sure where he's sitting on Reaper, but as I said, put him 1 point up to Chris. Probably just get kill 1 back.
I think Chris will clear out that left. He
doesn't have enough left.
Is that squad around that left?
So there's one squad of vet left in total, which is this squad here. They will not be able to get to a position where they can shoot the guys on the bottom center objective because the line is. They might be able to charge to that wall if they're lucky. They're better off trying to clear objective 3.
Yeah, sorry, not the bottom one. I'm talking about the left-hand one. So I think he's got enough there to take that left-hand objective.
Yep. So he'll get
hold 1.
He might get hold 1 and kill 1, which puts him to 1 point up at the end of turn 4. But then turn 5, he just gets if this goes 6 turns, Chris is getting tabled.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I'd just like to say that Chris is going to win just because I like the opposite of whatever Hayden said.
That's a fair call.
It's very scientific.
I've said for a long time, the most people we've played any one game, I think, was 6. And the best thing about that, there's 2 of us here and 4 people on Discord. The best thing about that was everyone's making these wild claims. And a couple of turns later, one of us is always right. Like, someone is always right when you get enough people. It looks like you just go, see, I told you that was what's going to happen.
To be fair, I'm normally, I'm used to being quite wrong most of the time when Hayden and I discuss 40k.
Fair.
I've had years of experience being wrong. And I'm married, so.
We just perpetually live in a state of wrongness, Bartosz.
Yep. Even when we're right, we're wrong.
So it's going to be interesting going into the final round. Adam Camilleri will either be playing one of these two, who have now. Simon's now been on the stream twice. This is Chris's first. So Simon could end up being on the stream 3 times this weekend, and potentially again for the very final. Because unfortunately, in this very small, tight format, it's hard to. We normally have a rule that a player doesn't get streamed more than twice in an event.
Yeah.
So if they're streamed on day 1, regardless of whether or not they are on the top table, they're not streamed again until round 5 or 6, depending on obviously how many rounds the event is. CanCon, we kind of broke that rule and said basically 1 a day at max, but we didn't end up going that way anyway. But here, it's a little hard. 16-player knockout style event. Like you very quickly have a situation where multiple people have been on stream. So in this round, both the games left in the Masters had a player had been on stream. And so no matter what happens, they're getting streamed at least twice the event. No one wants to see the same game over and over and over and over. Really.
Yeah, I wonder how Simon's list will do against Adams. The
Good question.
The Tower definitely got the fire there.
So Simon got bonus point this round. So the bonus point, I think, is holding all objectives.
Right.
So Simon is 2 up.
2 at the moment.
He's definitely going to get 19 hold more. Then Chris is going to get. He'll probably get one of the objectives back, so that'll be a 2-point difference. He'll probably kill at least 1 unit. That'll be a 1-point difference, still in Simon's favour. That turn was pretty solid.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think Chris's army just ran out of steam there, ran out of bodies.
Yep. I think the game would be completely different if Chris had just deployed his. As I said, I think a lot of people get on that kind of autopilot and feel like, I deep strike, that's the pro strat, when it's not always. Alright, so Chris is pretty much, I think, jumping to... I think he's still in movement. Yeah, he is. So just got those vets. Looks like he's trying to do a bit of a multi-charge, I think. So one of the things interestingly, Simon has been consistently putting like 1, 2 models on an objective when could have probably put more.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% certain why he's gone that path. What army is Adam playing this event? Playing Tau. Filthy Tau. For those that weren't here for round 1, I was on stream, when we read his list out, I'm just going to read it out. It's entertaining. Let's just find Camilleri. So his list starts with, and this is, I'm going to read this verbatim, a little something something from your boy to read out on stream. Let's hope I don't cock this up. Make sure they all know it's my first time, ... as Tau. Fucking fish, cow, tuna beef, weirdo-looking gill bastards with hooves. I love that.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we have 15 minutes left of the round. I might do some plugging with some sponsors while I remember. So big shout out to Knights of Dice, who built us a ANZ40K Open 2019 champion. I'm going to call it a trophy holder. Let's see if I can kind of make this work on stream. That just goes, ta-da. Look, Mom, no hands. So that was provided to us by the team at Knights of Dice. They delivered that to us today. And in addition, they're providing 15% off if you use code ANZ40K, which I'll put in the chat. Not that that's hard to remember, but there it is anyway. At knightsofdice.com. They do MDF terrain of a range of different styles and budget. So they have a budget range called Tabula Rasa, which is a bit more no frills, and then they have others with the bells and whistles and ladders and all kinds of stuff. But if you're just after cheap tournament level terrain, Tabula Rasa is where it's at. They also do carry cases, foam. They will license or the laser touch, that brand, and they also do templates. Pretty much anything acrylic, anything they can cut with a laser. They'll get it on. Big shout out to Frontline Gaming Australia for all their support, and they do G mats, and they also do the ITC terrain, and another terrain sponsor, OTP Terrain, who do 3D printed terrain. The scale and level of detail on that is off the hook. They do from 6 mil, so Titanica scale, up to 32 mil, so knights and stuff. Bridges, buildings, ruins, cathedrals. They do this massive crane, which is epic. Make sure you head over to Knights of Dice, Frontline Gaming Australia, and OTP Terrain, and support the companies that are supporting the community. There's my plug. Also, another plug, ANZ40K. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on your reputable sponsors. Can you type the names of the sponsors down? Oh, jeez. Yeah, of course I can. Let's just put their websites. Knights of Dice.
You mean the ones that are printed at the bottom of the screen?
Yeah, there's image down the bottom left-hand corner, but
Knights of Dice from.
He's a teacher though, so he's a little bit slower. The uptake. So
Hey, I'm just thinking about this game now. This has got to be the end of the last turn, right? Because there's only 10 minutes left.
It's a very good question. I might go check where they're going.
Because if this is the last 10 minutes, I think there's a possibility Chris could win this.
Win it.
Yep. At the very least, if it does end at the end of the turn, he will win it.
I've got 11 minutes 30.
There are no draws.
Right.
So if there is a draw at the end of turn 4, I will give them both. So look, assuming that 12 minutes on my clock, 12 minutes left in the round. Assuming at that 12 minutes they are still in turn 4 and it ends a draw, then I will make them play timed turn 5. So I'll give them an amount of time. I've got to work that out.
If there isn't, say they finish this turn with 5 minutes to go, will they just go into round 5 straight away, or will you call it then?
Very good. They haven't chess clocked, so there is no rule behind that. So if you use the ITC chess clock rules, basically they say that if both players don't have at least 10 minutes, so if one player doesn't have at least 10 minutes, you can't start the round.
Right.
Which actually can work out in situations where there's like 19 minutes left.
Yeah.
19 minutes and seconds.
Yeah.
Like that. So from my point of view, I want this game to finish naturally, but also not to the extent where they are going well over time.
Mm-hmm.
So I might just see how they're going time-wise.
It's pretty tight, Bartosz, this game.
Yeah, mate. I'd say if the game ends this turn,
I think it's good if it ends.
Both of them. So they're just ending turn, and they're going to play turn 5.
they're going to play turn 5, so it'll be Simon's win then.
Yeah. And 1 second.
And that's
Yeah.
So they both agreed to play out the turn 5, yeah.
They both agreed to play turn 5,
Yep.
and they both agreed that there will be no. So
I think that's actually that's a really good display of some sportsmanship there, because I think Chris realises that if it ended there, he could possibly have won it. So the fact that he's not disputing that, that's good to see.
Also not slow playing it as well. Like I saw
Yeah.
Simon moving some of his models for him and stuff like that. So he's obviously said, "Hey, look, let's speed this up." So, and surely he's keeping it. Well, he is keeping track of the score, so he would have known that.
Also, in
Simon, if he just slow played it.
In Simon's turn 4, there was remember we were talking. It was in combat with the 3 veterans, like a Terminator and 2 dudes.
Yep.
The top left-hand corner. That Terminator was on 1 wound left, and Simon still had units to fight. And at that point in time, Chris has said, "Nah, you'll kill him," and just took him off.
Yeah, that's what you want to see, yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. So there's a couple games still going, but we're wrapping up. One last table to go. Double check. 1 second.
He's done a fair bit of damage to Simon, still.
Yeah, but unfortunately he's still got 3 Ravagers, 3 Venoms, or 4 Venoms.
5
Venoms. Yeah.
So at the moment, on the objective on the left-hand side, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, like 9 sisters, the Watchmaster, and a Terminator versus the Succubus. So
Right.
Succubus by herself.
Yeah.
The bottom center. The bottom center objective, we have some vets against some witches.
Yep.
Yep, and then as I said, the right hand side is pretty much Simon's. Nothing that's going to change that. The number 2 up the top in the center, Simon's. Nothing's going to change that. So it's really just going to come down to in Simon's turn 5, just how much damage he can do.
I'd say he should be able to do enough.
I'm going to help them fill out their score sheets just to speed it up. So I'm going to go mute.
Mingle.
Yep. It's definitely been a bloody tough game on both sides, I think. I mean, Simon hasn't lost a lot in vehicles. What's he lost? 6 Venoms?
5, I think. I think he started off with 10.
5,
Sorry, I'm
right.
going to roll when it started. I think he had 12, but I think he started off with 10.
But he hasn't, I mean, the Ravagers are untouched.
The problem's been is that Chris hasn't been able to get to those Ravagers.
Yeah.
And they're
his
in my opinion, that is what causes the damage.
Yeah, and I mean, outside of Deep Strike, he just doesn't have the mobility to go them around.
Chris, I don't think realised that it was as close as it was.
Really?
And I'll rephrase that. I don't think Chris realised that he was going to end up 1 or 2 points up that turn. And he's just said to me, jokingly, like with Simon there, but he's just said, "Oh no, I think we should finish now." And he's like, "Nah, keep going."
I actually kind of feel for him too. That if that had ended, and through no fault of either player, it being a slow game, I think he would have deserved that win.
Yeah, well, if that ended going into the championship round, whereas now, as I said, now he's just going to push forward and shoot as much as he can. Everything. So look,
is that bottom unit with that bike sitting on that bottom objective tied in combat with that witch? With that succubus?
Don't believe so. So, so that bike on objective 1, no, it's not tied in combat with anyone.
Okay. I was just trying to see if there was any way that one unit survive.
I don't think so.
Because he didn't consolidate anything, so I assumed that it was still locked in combat.
See, if Chris had been able to get his recons through as well, you know, like Simon did a good job stopping him from being able to do that.
Yep.
Trying to think
Definitely. I possibly wouldn't have chosen recon again on this deployment against that many Venoms.
Yeah, I guess it's easy to say when you're sitting here watching it, but when you like, he probably thought, you know, he'll be able to deep struck in and do some stuff. And
what there's a secondary for killing vehicles, yeah?
No, big game hunter.
Big game hunter.
It's not 7 wounds.
Yeah, so basically it's the Ravagers.
And so Venoms are 6, aren't they?
Yeah, you have to get big. So Simon's last game, Liam picked big game hunter, and there was 3 Ravagers, and that was just a really tough one to get against Simon. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's another interesting list where he's not really giving up too many secondaries on that Dark Elder list.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have a shitload of infantry to really get Reaper. I imagine most things there are under 7 power level, except for the Ravagers.
Yeah, I'd say so. So yeah, it doesn't second. So it's a good IT list.
Mm.
The other thing, it doesn't give up too many secondaries, which I don't know what you want to do. As far as the Reaper's concerned, I think Simon picked Reaper. He's currently on 3 Reaper points.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when it comes down to it whether or not that's going to be
possibly
still
not going to get the 4th one.
Look, he might. No, it's hard to say. That list has a lot of bodies, a lot of infantry. There's a lot of sisters models. So Reaper points. Look, the first 2 or 3 Reaper points is relatively easy, but potentially that 4th might be just a bit of a stretch. He just has to do a couple more wounds, I think, to that Kingslayer to get that over the board. Because Kingslayer is for every full 3 wounds on an infantry model. With the no, it doesn't be infantry.
Character.
Yep. Yeah. So for every, I want to say every 3 wounds. I can double check it, but it's for every, 3 wounds you get a point.
Right.
So he's currently got 1 Kingslayer point. So I'm assuming that if he takes him down, is worth 2. I don't know. Oh, hello. Obviously, there's a little delay between when I say "oh, hello" and you guys see what I saw. So that's left objective.
Clear.
All those sisters are gone.
Oh.
Oh shit! There we go.
What has he got sitting on there? Is that Marines?
Simon went first. So Chris has at the top left-hand corner, I think, a couple of battle sisters.
Yep.
So let me bring up the overlay there. A couple of battle sisters, I think. Here we have a veteran squad kind of stringing out. On one end, it has a Terminator. On one end, it has a bike.
Yep.
Chris could potentially, at the end, he could just kill everything in the middle. The downside of Chris's play is that the Terminator model, which you may want to use to soak up wounds, is the one that's currently on the objective.
Yeah.
So, there's a good chance that Simon could clear that unit, kill the Terminator, who's already wounded, kill the Watchmaster with his Succubus, and basically just in the assault phase get on objective 3, and he could get the bonus pointing.
Has he got anything down there to get onto objective 3?
Succubus here.
Yeah.
That's wounded, and the bottom objective. There's a couple of I think witches.
So she fell out of combat, yeah.
I don't know if she fell out of combat. Possibly,
Okay.
which means you can't charge back in unless you've got some shenanigans that I'm unaware of.
what I'm thinking that Chris needs to do is all he needs left alive is that one bite to get that bottom objective, and then in his turn move that squad out from the corner of the building to get that left-hand objective.
Yeah, but at the moment, if, and it's a big if because I can't really tell from here, but if Simon can get the bonus point for holding all objectives,
Yep.
Then it's too big a swing.
Yeah. He hasn't. Well, he hasn't got the bottom objective though.
He does. There's a
does he?
couple of witches.
Oh, right. So his arm's in the way. Didn't see.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I'm not sure where those magical witches came from. There's some witches hiding underneath that ruin, and so they just come on out. And so yeah, he will get the bonus point.
Yeah.
He'll get kill one, so 3 points. He'll get.
He's got to kill that Watchmaster to get that other objective, though, doesn't he?
No, he's got it. The witches are on it, and the witches are OBSEC.
Right.
So, yeah. Mate, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. And at some stage, my phone's going to die, and I'll have to go back to the. But hey, mate, this is right down to the wire. Right down to the wire. So we have 2 witches and a succubus in combat with the Watchmaster. So the witches, I think, just managed to do a wound, and I don't think it was enough. So the Watchmaster is going to hang around. Once again, it's going to be a pretty close. Pretty close. I don't know if I can pick it.
Has he actually killed a whole unit this time, Simon?
He definitely killed the sisters.
Yes, he did.
That were there.
So he needs to kill 2 units to kill more.
Yeah,
which is a pretty hard ask.
Yeah,
I think
at this point.
I think if. Yeah, this is close, man. He's going to get that bonus though, which is probably just enough to push him over.
Yeah, so they just put their scores in for that turn.
Yeah,
which puts Simon up by. Simon's up by 2.
Only 2 points.
But there is most likely 1 extra point there for Reaper. They did, they were going through it and updating the secondaries, and no, we'll do Reaper at the end because they needed to hammer it through.
Yeah.
So we will see. All right.
Hold on, can he get another recon here?
Who?
Yeah, he can.
Oh, can he? He's got nothing in that top right corner.
The bike. The bike just went for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
He might. He just might.
So he's probably going to get recon.
Recon. He just needs to kill something, and then it's going to be his win.
And hold something. Yeah, he'll hold that.
He'll hold that objective. Kill something. Far out. Whoa! Who would have called that shit? Yeah, hold on, no, because there was another secondary to go in for Simon as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, so I think there's probably
just one. So,
and he will probably also get hold. So I think Simon's got potentially 2 more points, which will put him on 20. Which will put him on 24, if my maths are right there. Yeah.
That makes it a little bit harder.
Oh. Okay, so Chardonnay Impaler just stopped the Watchmaster falling back.
Oh,
Bugger. Looks like they're going to have to charge in and do it.
did he CP reroll? No.
I'm not sure what C. Do any of you have CP left? No, they're out of CP.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is intense. Simon looked at me and goes, "Can I make 4-up saves?"
No, you're not allowed. I tell you what, these the
Filthy dark outer.
come down to the left.
Simon has cleared. Sorry, I'll rephrase it. Chris has cleared the center bottom objective. However, I think he did that in phase.
He has a model on it.
Yeah, but I think because he shot them rather than charging them, he doesn't get the move, and I don't believe he'll get recon.
Doesn't he? Oh, right. Yeah, I get it.
He won't have anything.
Yeah.
Can a unit be considered to be in 2?
I don't believe so.
He's not
Otherwise,
even
you'd
on
literally...
the line, I don't think.
No, he's not even on the line. But bike, I think, is where Hayden might be going. I don't think they can.
But
No, normally
Otherwise, you'd literally
one or the other.
park the model in the table and call it recon. Yeah. Is that it? That's halfway.
Okay, so I killed.
Alright, it is filling.
So I did not get. Means I won by.
Question? Can you count the Reaper for me?
Yeah, no. 4 now. You're on.
Alright, so we may end up in a draw,
Ooh.
which we're not allowed to have. So
Yeah.
we'll see how. We're just doing
Jeez,
a
if it goes
final double check.
if it goes for another turn, then it's definitely Simon's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That puts it up to 1,
You did the Aggies out.
17.
We've gone down to the judges.
Sorry, is that 80? So, plus 17.
Do we need a calculator?
43 there. No,
Alright, he has 4 Reaper points. Alright,
Four
am I
Reaper
correct in
points.
saying that is a draw? Alright.
fix up my mistake.
Alright.
I didn't get recon because I am a
Alright.
We're going to charge into the thing.
I just forgot to get
So unfortunately it's turn 6. No. Yeah. Well, that's the tiebreaker. The tiebreaker is play another turn.
I didn't think. I thought you got me by 1.
Because any other way of doing it is yeah.
You're the TO.
Yep.
That was a enjoyable game. Or garbage?
All right. And can you fire that up though? Are you gonna need it?
Yep, there goes the handshake.
All right. So I haven't had to think about. No. All right. You've got 10 minutes.
So turn or
I'm gonna give you 10 minutes each because.
I'll get you go to the time then, so I'm 5 minutes.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna go 5 minutes each. So at the moment it's 8:10. So I will. Yeah, keep you guys up to date. All right.
Fire, that's crazy though. Who would have guessed a draw? That's insane.
I might have.
You did say 1 point, Bartosz?
I did say there would be 1 point, and I think I changed my mind several times during the game, but
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely.
I think it's
I thought Simon had it in the bag.
Yeah, I think it's
At the
closer than anyone would have thought it would be.
All right, the crowd is going wild here. They're like hard dice down, guys. Hard dice down. I'm like, dude, they drew. So yeah. All right, so this is pretty. Oh, jeez, the score's gone away.
Gutted.
All right, so Mr. Camilleri had 5 turns, they tied, so there are no ties. So I just gave them 5-minute turns. They're playing in turn 6.
We'll play 3-way.
That sounds kinky.
I start on 1 point.
Yeah. And big shout out to the guys at LVO who didn't tell me their tiebreaker system. No, they didn't. They do. It's written down. They didn't want to. I've been promised it would be sent to me after the event, and it wasn't.
Who's saying they don't believe it? Give them a red card.
I didn't want to tell anyone the tiebreakers because I didn't want there to be a So one second. So now people understand why I had such large breaks between the rounds. People wondering why I needed a half-hour break with a system that just basically clicks a button and goes pairings done.
Right. Next
So
person
like
to ask you that, mate, give them a red card.
Red card.
Yeah, red card.
All right. So obviously you guys see the top-down view here.
Yeah.
I'm just standing by the table because I'm communicating while commentating.
It's not looking good for Chris.
No, it's not.
Not even a little bit.
It's going to be pretty brutal, eh? It's not, and because they would have moved a lot of stuff out as well, to thinking that was going to be the end of the game. Not that I think it could have changed much either way, because Simon's got the speed to be able to go and just catch him.
If Chris had been a quarter of an inch with that bottom left marine to the right, he would have got recon and he would have won.
Yep.
Right. Quarter inch, eh?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, to quote the poet Tom Toretto, it doesn't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile, 1 in 20.
It is indeed. Well, big thanks, 40 Cabal guys, for joining us on this live stream.
Thanks for having us, mate.
No problems. Anytime. So if you're ever actually keen coming on, we're quite happy to have you on. Yeah.
That'd be great.
Good, bro.
I think next time we'll have to get Buttle on as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Someone a bit more sensible than us.
Yeah. He's a lot more serious than us, though, right? Just be aware that he's very serious. He takes the game seriously. So.
War dollies is serious business, bro.
It is. Final shout out, Knights of Dice. Thanks for their support. Head over to knightsofdice.com and enter ANZ40K 2019 as a discount code. You get 15% off some awesome stuff till next Friday. If you head over to Frontline Gaming Australia, they do FLG Mat and ITC Terrain. Love their work, love their support of the community. And finally, Oatspeed Terrain have been a sponsor of this channel since our very first stream or event, and love the guys at that team. So once again, big thanks to everyone involved, and we are. That is 5 minutes.
That's 5 minutes. That's time. To the end that turn. And he's still.
No more shooting after this.
He's still gonna get it.
Been told.
Yep.
Alright, rolling his saves. Dead. And that's turn. That's 5 minutes.
So you scored 2 points to Kingslayer. Yeah, 2 points to Slayer. You killed 1, you hold 1.
So you capped out Kingslayer. Capped out Kingslayer. 26. You've got kill 1, hold 1. You are down by 4 points.
Yeah. And he's got, what, 1 model left?
You need...
So you hold more. So how many give the skill before you?
All right. So with Chris's last 5 minutes, this is optimism. I love it. He needs to get